Is that really possible? The man in gray hesitated, doubt written all over his face. Li Sun is in the sky domain, late-stage Ling Yun at most. That's strong, sure, but it's only strong. Compared to the three of us, it's not even close. He paused, then added the biggest problem. And Yi City is over 8,000 miles away. Even if he wants to come, can he really fly here in time? Jiang Cheng didn't argue. He just gave a vague smile and kept walking. I'm only saying what I heard. Believe it or don't. You'll know soon enough. His tone turned colder. This secret realm is open, which means someone is already inside. Stay sharp. The other two nodded. Understood. The three stepped into the secret realm. The moment their feet touched the ground, their eyes locked onto the only thing worth looking at. A solitary mountain. In this secret realm, everything else was empty, dead, and silent. That mountain was the only landmark, the only clue, the only place an enemy could hide. They advanced carefully, breath-controlled, steps light. A full quarter of an hour later, they reached the foot of the mountain. All three released their divine sense together, probing upward. When their perception reached the top, their faces changed at the same time. Because in front of a palace at the summit, they clearly saw a girl in white, sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, completely unaware of their approach, still immersed in cultivation. Qin Shui, the man in gray, said first, voice tight with excitement. Qin Shui rarely appeared in public, but the three of them had seen her portrait countless times. Otherwise, they wouldn't dare take this job. Jiang Cheng's eyes flashed. Li Sun should be inside the hall. They're separated. He looked at the thin old man beside him and gave a quick wink. The old man understood instantly. He stretched out his palm. A flicker of light gathered, then faded, revealing a black rope coiled in his hand. The rope looked ordinary at first glance, but the killing intent wrapped around it was thick enough to chill the spine. Dragon binding rope. Once it wrapped around a target, even a profound core realm expert would be forced to kneel. At the same time, inside the hall, Li Sun slowly opened his eyes. They were clear, bright, sharp like blades. He glanced down at the stone vat he'd been sitting on. Now it was empty. The Tianxin stone milk inside had been fully refined, not a single drop left. That massive essence had flooded his body and raised his physique to a terrifying level. He already had natural divine strength. But now, his raw power had crossed the million-pound threshold. For a cultivator of the same realm, that was absurd. Even the offspring of some ancient divine beasts didn't carry this kind of brute force at birth. Li Sun rose to his feet. The golden body art is complete, he murmured. If we compare only strength, even some gifted body refiners wouldn't be my match. His long hair fell loose and faint radiance shimmered across his skin, smooth and flawless like polished jade. He reached out and casually squeezed the stone vat. Crack. What had once been hard as iron crumbled in his palm like tofu. As expected of Tianxin stone milk, Li Sun said, genuinely impressed. Even my strength has reached the peak of the spiritual accumulation realm. Its main effect was tempering the body, but strength naturally rose with it. He pulled on his robe, ready to check on Qin Shui. Then his eyes narrowed. He turned sharply toward the hall entrance. His divine sense had already spread, and it had already found them. At the foot of the mountain stood three figures. One of them had raised a black rope, and it was silently slithering toward Qin Shui. A trap. A capture attempt. Li Sun's voice dropped like ice. Courting death. A long spear appeared in his hand. The spear's light surged, stretching 100 meters. The hall trembled. Heaven and earth seemed to pale under its pressure. Buzz. The spear shot out like a dragon, leaving the sea, wind and thunder roaring behind it, divine radiance shaking the air. At the foot of the mountain, the dragon-binding rope was almost on Qin Shui. The three were already tasting victory. Then, a murderous aura erupted from the hall like a tidal wave. The air exploded. Boom! A silver-white spear crashed into the black rope midair. Endless light burst outward, blinding. In that brilliance, the spear looked like a true dragon, tearing clouds, splitting the night, screaming as it came down. Why? The thin old man only managed half a shout. Pfft. The spear punched through him cleanly. The impact didn't just kill him. It carried his body backward for hundreds of meters and pinned him into the earth with a violent bang. Blood poured out. The spear shaft trembled slightly. A scene so brutal it made the world feel colder. The other two stared. Scalp numb. Heart hammering. That old man was a profound core realm cultivator. And he was killed in a blink. No struggle. No exchange. Just erased. That wasn't defeat. That was a spite kill. And those were two completely different things. A cold voice sounded behind them. Chin family dogs? The words landed. And at the same instant, a tall figure stood in front of them. No footsteps. No movement. As if he'd always been there. That kind of movement technique was the most terrifying kind because it didn't give you time to react. Jiang Cheng's face went tight. He forced a smile so hard it looked painful and hurriedly cupped his hands. Young Masterly, misunderstanding. We accidentally entered this place. We weren't trying to become your enemy. He swallowed and added quickly, please, spare our lives. Inside, Jiang Cheng was already cursing the Qin family informant 100 times. Li Sun can defeat a profound core expert. What a joke. This wasn't defeating. This was instant killing. If they'd known Li Sun had this level of strength, they wouldn't dare chase him even with 10 lives. Li Sun's expression didn't change. He looked at them like they were already dead. Seems you really are from the Qin family. Then he said calmly, leave your lives behind. The moment those words fell, killing intent surged like an ocean, drowning the area for hundreds of meters. Jiang Cheng's pupils shrank. Run! He roared, then shot toward the exit without looking back. Li Sun stepped forward once. Just once. And he was already behind him. You can't run. Li Sun clenched his fist and swung. Boom! A million-pound force detonated in an instant, smashing into Jiang Cheng's back like a falling mountain. Jiang Cheng vomited blood. He didn't even get time to scream. His body flew forward lifeless, skidding through the air like a broken sack. Then Li Sun raised a hand. The poisoned spear in the distance flew into his palm. He threw it again. Buzz. The spear arrived before the sound. Pfft. It pierced the man in gray straight through. In a breath, all three were dead. Li Sun retrieved the spear and looked down at their corpses. If you stayed, you might have had a tiny chance to bargain. His tone was calm, almost indifferent. The moment you chose to run, you sealed your fate. He turned and walked back toward the mountain. Qin Shui had already woken up. She stood at the top of the steps, her white robe fluttering lightly, eyes clear but still cautious. Young Master Li saved my life again, she said softly. They couldn't hurt you, Li Sun replied, shaking his head. His gaze flicked to the spot where she'd been cultivating. A formation still lingered there. Qin Shui smiled faintly, said nothing about it, and instead turned her eyes toward the hall. Young Master Li's cultivation has advanced again. Congratulations. Then she lowered her gaze slightly. I've delayed long enough. I should leave. You're not returning to Yi City? Li Sun asked, raising an eyebrow. Qin Shui shook her head. I still have things to do. She had come for 2 reasons, St. Chance and its Daoist golden core, and to repay Li Sun's kindness with the purple cloud pill. Now the debt was settled. It was time to go her own way. Li Sun didn't pry. He could tell she carried secrets, and if she didn't want to speak, asking was pointless. Then we'll meet again, he said. He turned to leave. Behind him, Qin Shui stared at his back. Her expression tightened, hesitation and struggle flickering across her face. Memories of the past few days surged up. In the end, she couldn't hold it in. Young Master Li. Her voice was quiet but urgent. Be careful of the Xianyang sect intersect trial in the next few days. Intersect trial? Li Sun paused mid-step. He turned back, eyes narrowing slightly as he looked at Qin Shui. What do you mean, Miss Qin? In Li Sun's memory, Xianyang sect held an intersect trial every year. Nothing mysterious about it. The inner disciples entered the Xianyang mountains, hunted demonic beasts, and handed in proof of kills. Rankings were based on contribution. Top 3 got rewards, cultivation techniques, pills, weapons, things like that. At the core, it was just the sect using danger to polish its disciples. Real combat experience couldn't be learned from sitting in a courtyard. And it wasn't even mandatory. Many disciples skipped it. That was exactly why Qin Shui's warning felt strange. This trial had existed for years. If she specifically told him to be careful, it meant one thing. This year would be different. Li Sun's mind flicked to timing. If he counted correctly, the trial should begin today. Which meant it had already started. And it would last 3 days. 2 days left. I don't know the details, Qin Shui said, shaking her head. She didn't look like she was hiding anything. It seemed genuine. In her previous life, when the inner sect trial happened, she was still only at late vitality realm. Not high enough to matter. Not high enough to be involved. And back then, Li Sun had proposed marriage to the Qin family. He avoided the trial altogether. But this life was different. Li Sun now had a flying spirit treasure. His travel speed was terrifying. If he wanted, he could return to Xianyang sect within a day. Meaning he could walk straight into whatever accident she was hinting at. That was why she warned him. Li Sun didn't press further. He cupped his hands politely. Whether it's clear or not, I still thank Miss Qin for the reminder. Then he turned and left. The moment his back faced her, the corner of his mouth lifted slightly. One word surfaced in his mind, heavy and certain. Rebirth. That night in the Qin family's garden, when Qin Shui casually revealed pill refining methods, he had already felt something was off. But geniuses existed in this world. Monsters existed. Some people really could do more than one path at once. Still, doubts had piled up. And now this warning. Xianyang sect had just begun the inner sect trial today. Qin Shui was over 100,000 miles away. Yet she spoke as if she knew something was waiting there. That wasn't information. That was memory. The only explanation was that she had lived through it once already. Outside the secret realm, Li Sun summoned the Yuling boat and stepped aboard. The boat turned into a streak of light and vanished into the sky. Inside the cabin, Li Sun leaned by the window and said in his heart system, "Claim the reward." The moment the thought fell, a jade slip appeared out of thin air. He caught it. It was only a few inches long, with 4 characters engraved on its surface. Slaying sword scripture. A mid-level heaven-grade sword technique. Interesting. Li Sun sent his divine sense into the jade slip. A quarter of an hour passed. He withdrew his sense and exhaled slowly. Terrifying. That was the only word for it. Even Li Sun, who had never been a sword cultivator, felt his heart itch after reading it. He almost wanted to start practicing the sword on the spot. Then he forced the thought down immediately. Cultivation had one big taboo, being half-hearted. Today he practiced the saber. Tomorrow the system might drop an emperor-grade sword art. What then? Switch again? No. He put the jade slip away and decided instead, when he got back, he'd find a few saber-focused sects or instructors and broaden his understanding. Learn the foundations. Strengthen his main path. And, maybe, along the way, he'd meet more people worth investing in. A day later, Xianyang sect was already visible. From the window, Li Sun stared at the familiar mountains and thought again about Qin Shui's warning. Inner sect trial. Danger. But what kind? He ran through possibilities. Demonic sect ambush, he guessed. The closest demonic faction was the Blood Devil sect. But compared to Xianyang sect, they were a smaller fish. If they dared slaughter inner disciples openly, Xianyang sect would wipe them out by sunrise. So probably not that. Demon race, he thought next. But the Xianyang mountains were the sect's backyard. Any demon beast strong enough to become a real threat would have been hunted down long ago by elders. That kind of thing couldn't grow unnoticed here. He ruled out both and still couldn't find a clean answer. When he came within 100 miles of the sect, Li Sun put away the Yuling boat and flew toward the mountain gate. Before he even reached the gate, several figures in white caught his eye. Inner sect robes. Their faces were pale. Blood stained their sleeves. They were supporting each other as they staggered uphill. Behind them, 2 more inner disciples carried a stretcher. The person on it was wrapped like a zongzi, nearly head to toe, soaked in blood and bandages. Li Sun's heart sank. So something really did happen. He was about to fly over, when the system suddenly chimed in, one after another. Ding! White-grade investable target detected. Invest 1 yuan pill return. 10 top-grade spirit stones. Ding! White-grade investable target detected. Invest a healing pill return. 10 years cultivation base. Ding! White-grade investable target detected. Li Sun's expression twitched. He looked again. A faint white glow was already rising around those injured inner disciples, visible even without focusing. His heavy mood got smashed by a ridiculous surge of excitement. He swallowed hard, forcing his face into something serious. Junior brothers. I don't want to do this either. I'm being forced by the system. Li Sun landed in front of them, wearing a solemn expression, and spoke in a deep voice. Junior brothers, what happened? Why are you in this state?
Hey everyone, Firescale Audiobooks here. If there's a novel you'd love to hear more of, you can support us on Patreon or Ko-fi. Depending on your tier, I'll make extra parts just for the stories you're most excited about. Usually I can only upload 4 to 5 parts of each novel, but with your support we can go beyond that. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps more than you know.
Li Sun, senior brother. See the figure of Li Sun. Aside. Lying on the stretcher, the man with almost no human form, his face full of excitement, stretched out a hand towards Li Sun. Junior brother, don't get excited. If you have something to say it slowly. Talking. Li Sun took out a life elixir with a dignified face, put it in the hands of the disciple, and continued, Junior brother is seriously injured. I happen to have a life elixir here, and I will give it to my junior brother today. Senior brother, it's me. I'm Peng Yuan. The man covered in gauze was full of tears of excitement. He whimpered and sadly, Senior brother Li Sun, you are so kind to me. Li Sun's expression froze, and he took a closer look at the other party. No wonder the voice sounded familiar just now. It turned out to be junior brother Peng of Qingyan Temple. However, the other party was covered in gauze, which made him not recognize the other party for the first time. It turned out to be junior brother Peng. Li Sun greeted them, turned to look at the others, and asked in a deep voice, Isn't today the time for the intersect trial? How did you guys become like this? To be frank, every year in the intersect trial, many interdisciplines are injured. There are even 1 or 2 more unfortunate interdisciplines that have fallen, but it is still relatively rare for everyone to be injured like today. More importantly, every time the Xianyang sect intersect trial, there will be no less than 1,000 participants. Now, in front of the mountain gate, only 7 or 8 people were seen. Li Sun had a bad feeling in his heart. Should the others die? If that's the case, then what Qin Shuai told On has not only been fulfilled, but the severity has completely exceeded his expectations. It's an alien demon. A disciple said solemnly. Extraterritorial demons? Li Sun raised his eyebrows. He had accidentally learned about this race from an ancient book. This race, from another world, is very powerful and it is difficult to kill or destroy. It came to this world on a large scale countless years ago. But in the end, he was completely driven out by a supreme powerhouse. Did not expect. After countless years, it actually appeared near Zhuanyangzong. Right? The disciple who spoke just now said again, on our way to the trial, a portal suddenly appeared, and countless demons from outside the realm came, which caught us by surprise. Fortunately, senior brother Wang sent us out at a critical juncture, and we survived. Brother Wang. Li Sun talked for a while, but there was no impression in his mind. If nothing else, the senior brother Wang mentioned by the other party should be the leader of this trial, and his identity is estimated to be core discipline. This is the rule of the intersect trials over the years. The reason why it is core discipline, not elder, is mainly because the trial site is in the Xianyang Mountains, which is only about 1,000 miles away from the Xianyang sect. It's like a trial at home. It is because there is no need for an elder to follow. After all, the child is playing around at the door of the house, so why should the parent be left behind? Not to mention, Inner Disc is not a child at all. Senior Brotherly, we have to inform the elder in the door, so we won't stay here any longer. The disciple cupped his hands, said quickly. Now, there are still many inner disciplines that are being besieged by demons from outside the realm. They really can't continue to waste time, because every extra second of time is wasted. A disciple may die. Brother, wait a minute. Li Sun shouted and stepped forward. A bottle of medicine pill appeared in his hand. After pouring out a few medicine pills, he came to the other side. This junior brother, I think your injury is relatively serious. You should bring this medicine pill first. Come on, the other junior brothers are also here. Each of us has a share. This move lets several brothers and sisters move to tears. I'm waiting to thank Senior Brotherly. Everyone is from the same sect. Why are you so polite? Li Sun asked again. I don't know. Where did you meet the extraterritorial demons? Just 1,300 miles to the east. The junior brother just now pointed his finger to the east and answered. Okay, I understand. You should go and inform the elder. Li Sun nodded. He stepped out one step. A long spear appeared in his hand, was stepped on by him, and quickly rushed towards the east. Brotherly is really a role model for my generation. I really didn't expect that there are people like Senior Brotherly in our Xianyang sect. Who would dare to oppose Senior Brotherly in the future and pass me first? Not to mention Xianyang sect, even in the entire cultivation world, there are not many people like Li Sun. Compared with Senior Brotherly Sun, I am as small as dust. Several Xianyang sect inner disciples looked at Li Sun's back and felt grateful. A senior brother who had never met each other gave each of them a healing medicine pill the first time they met, and then after hearing about the invasion of foreign demons. He rushed over without hesitation. They know that there are tigers in the mountains, and they prefer the style of tigers to the mountains. They can't do it if they ask themselves. To know. That's an alien demon. Among the same level, the Terran is not an opponent at all. Even if it is ahead of a realm, even if it can be defeated, it may not be able to kill the opponent. But Senior Brotherly knew that, but he still went. Let's go, let's hurry up and inform the elders. Don't let Senior Brotherly Sun fight alone. Peng Yuan waved his bandaged hand and said quickly. Others may not know Li Sun's strength. But Peng Yuan knew a little bit. Not long ago, Li Sun had just been in the Azure Cloud Palace and received a mission to hunt down Lu Sandao, but Lu Sandao was only at the peak of his vitality. That is to say, Brotherly Sun's strength is only controlled by the spirit realm. He went alone, and it is very likely that no one can be rescued, and he will ride in himself. At the same time, hundreds of miles away in the sky, in Li Sun's mind, several system prompts sounded. Ding, congratulations to the master. You have obtained 10 top-grade spirit stones. Do you want to receive it? Ding, congratulations to the master. You have obtained 10 years of cultivation base. Do you want to receive it? Ding, congratulations to the master. You have obtained a bottle of Ziyundan. Do you want to receive it? Receive. Without any hesitation, he said quickly in his heart. This meeting hasn't reached the destination yet, and there is just no one, so I will collect the rewards just now. After a while, I will arrive at the place. If there are too many people, many rewards will not be able to be claimed. Boom. Accompanied by several items. The aura on Li Sun's body suddenly changed. In his dantian, an extremely dazzling brilliance bloomed. There was a gold core the size of a thumb, which quickly condensed. The brilliance of the gold core shrouded Li Sun's whole body with a layer of golden light, like a golden armored god, descending into the mortal world from beyond the clouds. At the same time, an early-stage atmosphere of the profound core realm, like a deep sea, quickly spread out. Profound core realm. Soon after, Li Sun opened his eyes. A flash of cold electricity bloomed, splitting the void, extremely sharp. Xianyang Mountains. This is a huge mountain range that stretches for tens of thousands of miles, the mountains towering, the weather is endless, and there are countless demonic beasts dormant. Because it is too close to Zhuanyangzong. In this mountain range, some powerful demonic beasts have long been slaughtered. Most of them are in the primordial chi realm, or demonic beasts in the spiritual realm inhabit them, and occasionally there are a few demonic beasts in the profound core realm, but the number is too small. Every time the demonic beasts in the profound core realm appeared, they were almost instantly killed by the disciples of the profound Yang sect. It is precisely because there are no demonic beasts that are too powerful. The Xianyang Mountains have always been the trial site of the inner discipline of the Xianyang sect. Almost every year, more than 1,000 inner disciplines enter the mountains to experience. Even if you can't get a good ranking, you can still hunt down a few demonic beasts, and each demonic beast's corpse can be exchanged for a lot of sect contribution points as long as you bring it back to Xianyang sect. But this year, what everyone can imagine is that, while they were testing, suddenly a pitch-black magic circle rose from all directions, and before they could react, the whole world suddenly darkened. There were dark clouds rolling in everywhere, and shrouding the heavens covered the sun, accompanied by the sound of ghosts crying and screaming, making the scalp tingle. Soon after, under the watchful eyes of more than 1,000 inner disciples, the sky was cracked. A crack that was several hundred meters long stretched across the sky, breathing cold, violent, and murderous aura, and then tens of thousands of extraterritorial demons rushed out of the crack. These demons, with a variety of appearances and a large number, soon filled the surrounding land. Looking around, there were figures of foreign demons everywhere. See this scene. Every disciple of the Xianyang sect was like falling into an ice cellar, feeling cold all over. To this moment, many people understand in their hearts that the situation has been completely reversed. They have become prey from hunters in an instant. Cling. In the dark fog, a burst of gold and iron symphony came out. A slender figure flew out and slammed into a big tree. Due to the force of the impact, the whole big tree was shivering. Countless leaves fell from the treetops. Puff. Lu Qingshuang was half kneeling on the ground. Her face was extremely pale. She leaned on the ground with her sword and spit out a mouthful of blood, staining the ground red. Are you going to die here today? Not long ago. She just switched to cultivation technique, and her strength has increased a lot. She thought she would shine in this intersect trial, but she never expected that. The first time I participated in the intersect trial, I encountered such a thing as a demon invasion. From the arrival of the demon to the present, it has only taken more than a day of work, and the original inner discipline of more than 1,000 has been completely damaged. Most of the people were taken away by the demons, and the remaining small part were all in a group, looking for a way out within a radius of less than 100 miles. Just now, there were several brothers and sisters beside her, but after encountering a team of demons, a few of them also dispersed. Right now, with her alone, it is impossible to break out of this formation. Not to mention, there is still a powerful demon in front of her blocking the way. The taste of human beings is really wonderful. A cold whisper sounded. Not far away, a figure with a height of 10 feet, shrouded in black robes, strode over, holding a figure in his hand, before coming to Lu Qingshuang. With a bang, he dropped it on the ground. After seeing the figure thrown on the ground, Lu Qingshuang's pupils could not help shrinking. That's Senior Brother Zhou. Brother Zhou's strength has reached the middle stage of the spiritual accumulation realm. In this intersect trial, his strength is ranked at the top of the middle, but he is such a powerful senior brother, and he hates him at the moment. Don't do the fearless struggle, I won't kill you. The huge figure stretched out his slender tongue, licked the corner of his mouth, and walked towards Lu Qingshuang step by step, and said slowly, "Other demons regard humans as pigs and like to steam, fry, and cook. Eat. And I'm different. I love eating raw." Hearing the first half of the sentence, Lu Qingshuang thought she had a chance to survive. After the last sentence can be heard, her whole heartstrings were stretched to the extreme. No wonder Senior Brother Zhou fell into the hands of this demon, and the corpse was still intact, and he didn't eat corpses emotionally. Go to hell. Lu Qingshuang did not sit still, but took the lead. The cultivation base in the middle stage of her primordial chi realm exploded in an all-round way, and the long sword in her hand turned into a giant, like a bolt of lightning. immediately stabbed in front of the demon. Clang! A burst of sparks lit up. The long sword was grasped by a large black hand. This palm only had 3 fingers, but it was as strong as steel port. He grasped the long sword without leaving any wounds in his palm. Is this a cultivator among humans? How weak. The demon wearing a black robe let out a sneer, and with a slamming sound, he squeezed the long sword in his hand into pieces. Then, a punch was thrown without warning, and the void exploded, as if the world had been completely blown up, setting off a black storm that swept around. Bang! Lu Qingshuang flew upside down again, like a kite with a broken string, flying upside down for hundreds of meters before falling to the ground. Just that punch. She almost shattered her whole body, nearly half of her bones, even the cultivation base with the middle stage of vitality. She couldn't stand up at this time. The heavy injury almost made her feel that her own life was passing quickly. Are you going to die? Looking at the gradually approaching demon, Lu Qingshuang's face became desperate. She could only watch helplessly as the demon got closer and closer, then stretched out a hand and quickly grabbed towards her, but she couldn't do anything herself. Just at the moment when the demon's palm was about to touch her, a burst of air came. A long spear glowing with silver light, brilliance, the mighty killing intent swept out, like a silver meteor, falling from the sky. Boom! Where the silver light passed, large tracts of towering ancient trees turned into powder because they couldn't bear the aura. When the demon noticed the change, he turned around suddenly, but before he had time to do anything, the huge body was directly pierced by the spear, and there was a transparent hole in the front and back on the left chest. Pitch-black blood flowed out of the hole incessantly. Who are you? Being pierced through the heart, the demon's body was still standing. He turned around, looked into the depths of the thick fog, and spoke in a hoarse voice. Li Sun. 2 words of indifference came. A figure of Xian Chang in white clothes appeared in front of him. Li Sun, senior brother. At this time, a flash of brilliance flashed in Lu Qingshuang's eyes. She will never forget that in the Sutra Pavilion, the existence that changed the trajectory of her life, if it weren't for Brother Li Sun, she would still be in the early stage of vitality. The last big favor Shang'an didn't have time to repay. Did not expect. This time, it was Brother Li Sun who made the move again. He saved his life. Senior brother, be careful. Demons are hard to kill. Lu Qingshuang spoke with difficulty. Ho ho. 39. The demon shrouded in black robes let out hoarse laughter, and endless black mist emanated from his whole body, as if he had transformed into a demon god who had returned from the 9 netherworld. The boundless black mist shrouded him, and the wound on his chest was squirming quickly, and soon it was completely restored to its original state. On the surface, it doesn't look like he's been injured at all. She's right, we can't be killed. Is it? Li Sun frowned slightly. He snapped his palm, and the point gun that flew out just now turned back again and landed in his palm. I want to see if the extraterritorial demons are really hard to kill and hard to destroy. The voice fell. Li Sun shot directly. The long spear swept across the sky, and a piece of silver was shining, shattering the boundless black mist, like a pillar of the sky, with unparalleled pressure. Ho-ho dash! The black-robed demon grinned. He was very tyrannical, facing Li Sun this strike. Without any dodge, he stretched out a large hand covered with scales, wrapped around the black devilish chi, and grabbed it forward. Boom! His scaly palm grabbed the spear at once, his complexion changed slightly, and he felt a heavy force that made his 10-foot-tall body sink to the ground. Break me! The other hand was raised, and he used both hands to resist the spear, and suddenly the spear's brilliance turned into an energy storm that swept in all directions. Li Sun frowned. When he was at the peak of Lingyun realm, he shot down, and no one could stop the worship of the Qin family. Now, after he became a powerhouse in the profound core realm, the one he encountered was also a demon outside the realm of Xiandan, and he could barely block his shot. No wonder the foreign demons are almost undefeated among their peers. After all, in addition to their strong physique, They also have a perverted recovery speed, which even Li Sun is ashamed of. The smell of the blood of the human profound core makes me intoxicated. The black-robed demon leaped out of the ground, and he let out a loud roar, like an ancient beast. His eyes flashed fiercely, and he quickly killed Li Sun. Court death. Li Sun drinks it cold. He was simple and direct. The spear shone with light, swung it violently, and the star-shattering halberd technique was unleashed by him. Boom! The deafening roar came continuously. Every time it collided, the body of the black-robed demon would tremble, as if all the bones in his body would be shattered. Brother Li Sun is so strong? Lu Qingxuang looked at the scene of the fight in the distance, and the whole person was shocked. On that day, when she was in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion, she didn't feel anything. She just thought it was a gentle senior brother. Who would have thought? When senior brother Li Sun made his move, would he be so domineering? And the demon just now seemed to be saying, senior brother Li Sun is a powerhouse in the profound core realm? If so, doesn't it mean that senior brother Li Sun will soon become a core disciple? If I remember correctly, brother Li Sun doesn't seem to have participated in this sect trial at all. Could it be that he is here to save us? 35. Thought here. An inexplicable warm current flashed in Lu Qingxuang's heart. When I was at a loss, it was brother Li Sun who gave me guidance. Now, when I was most in danger, it was brother Li Sun who helped me. When she was asked to look at Li Sun's figure again, there was a strange brilliance in her eyes. Crack. Another crisp sound. The 6 fingers of the black-robed demon were shattered inch by inch and fell off. He let out a scream, and all of the 6 fingers were bleeding. Although their injuries can recover quickly, but the pain is real. What a strong human being. The black-robed demon took a breath of cool air, and his body was covered in black mist, brilliance surrounding his body, burning like a flame, and the injuries on his body recovered rapidly. But with it, the breath has declined a lot. For flowers, it seems that your recovery is not without a price. In this way, the extraterritorial demons are not immortal. Li Sun was like a god king, standing in the void, with golden light shining all over his body, and even his jet-black hair had a golden brilliance. Heavenly Devil Wanhua. There was a flash of fierceness in the black-robed demon's eyes. He let out a loud roar and directly performed a secret technique. He knew that if he continued to fight, he would be completely exhausted. Once the source was exhausted, he would have no choice but to die. It is better to take advantage of the present and fight directly. Once he beheaded the opponent, just thinking about the blood essence of the human profound core realm made him tremble with excitement. Whoa! The knuckles of the black-robed demon began to shift, and it rang nonstop. A terrifying aura permeated the air, and the body that was originally 10 feet tall quickly shrunk to 5 feet. Then, with a swish, he rushed towards Li Sun. Murderous look. Shocking murderousness. The black light rushed into the night. His body had already been deformed, but it was even stronger. Heavenly Devil Wanhua made his body shrink, but at the same time, his strength nearly doubled. Brother Li Sun, be careful. Lu Qingxuang endured the excruciating pain and exclaimed. Boom. 35. Li Sun's body was flowing with golden light. He used strong strikes, and the long spear in his hand swept out continuously. The spear pierced the earth and shook the sky. Boom. Boom. A dozen times in a row, Li Sun stood still, as steady as Mount Tai, standing in the sky, while the black-robed demon was knocked out. The instant it flew out, the spear in Li Sun's hand emitted 10,000 rays of light, which made people unable to face it, filled with the aura of Hongdae and sacred, and penetrated all of a sudden. Pfft! The long spear once again pierced the black-robed demon's chest and nailed it to the void, forming a shocking picture. Boom! Li Sun's palm shook, and the Poyan gun let out a humming sound, and a terrifying power erupted from the gun body, blasting the black-robed demon's body to smithereens. Only one head, Goryeo rolled to the ground. The black-robed demon tried his best to open his mouth, but no sound came out, and his eyes quickly dimmed. You are the first to have played against me for so long. Li Sun fell in the void, glanced at the head of the black-robed demon, then came to Lu Qingxuang and said, "Junior sister Lu, we meet again." "You, senior brotherly, hiss." Lu Qingxuang's eyes lit up, and she opened her mouth to respond, but because she was too excited, she pulled the wound, causing her to take a deep breath. "Junior sister, don't move. I have a medicine pill here. You should take it first." Li Sun squatted down in front of Lu Qingxuang. A crimson medicine pill appeared in his hand and sent it to Lu Qingxuang. She cooperatively opened her small mouth and swallowed the medicine pill. The moment medicine pill entered his stomach, the strong medicinal power was scattered into the limbs and bones, and the originally broken bones also tended to recover. "Ding, congratulations to the master. I invested 1 for Yuan Dan and got 1,000-year-old chalcedony. Does the master receive it?" "Don't get it." Li Sun responded quickly. Aside. After taking medicine pill, Lu Qingxuang's complexion recovered a bit rosy. Her eyes brightened. "Thank you, brother." 99. "You're welcome. It's just a matter of hand." April 17th, Li Sun waved his hand and asked, "Do you know what the other people are doing now?" "I am afraid that most of the brothers and sisters have been captured by foreign demons." Lu Qingxuang's face darkened, and she said in a deep voice, "There are some people who have become food for demons." Talking. She glanced at senior brother Zhou, who was not far away. This senior brother Zhou had to say that his luck was very good. He encountered a demon who did not eat dead corpses. Otherwise, it would be impossible to keep a whole corpse now. "Where were they caught?" Li Sun asked. "Looks like it's over there." Lu Qingxuang raised an arm with difficulty and pointed the direction to Li Sun. "In this black circle, there is black mist everywhere, and Li Sun has lost his way from the moment he entered." Thankfully. "This is just a trapping formation. You can enter but cannot leave. If it is a killing formation, I am afraid that all the inner disciples of Xianyang sect have all died. By the way, junior sister Lu." Li Sun glanced at the direction Lu Qingxuang pointed and asked again, "Do you know what the strength of the strongest person in this group of extraterritorial demons is? Also, how many are the strongest demons in total?" Li Sun has a plan in his heart to save people. After all, almost everyone in the Xianyang sect is injured at the moment. If he saves anyone, he can invest once. But the problem is, he doesn't want to die. The extraterritorial demon just now was not considered weak. If there were many others with the same strength in the formation center, he would not be able to provoke him. It would be better to stay here with Lu Qingxuang and wait for sect elders' rescue. After all, it is only more than 1,000 miles away from Xianyang sect. Even if they don't have the royal spirit boat, it is enough to rush over in about half an hour. Just now, senior brotherly killed one of the strongest ones. Besides him, there should be 2 more. Lu Qingxuang thought for a moment and said, "In the beginning, when the formation was just rising, it was senior brother Wang who was besieged by the 3 of them. Since they are foreign demons, any injuries can be quickly recovered. Even if senior brother Wang is a supernatural powerhouse, he can't help them for a while." Later, the extraterritorial demon that brotherly beheaded suddenly appeared and began to hunt us down. "I guess brother Wang he said here." Lu Qingxuang did not continue to speak. But what happened next, Li Sun almost guessed it. The leader of the team, senior brother Wang, should be out of luck, if nothing else. But the problem is, just now Lu Qingxuang said that senior brother Wang is a supernatural powerhouse. Logically speaking, even if the demons from outside the realm have an almost immortal body, due to the difference in strength, it is impossible to hurt that senior brother Wang. Li Sun thought of a possibility. Do these 3 extraterritorial demons have some kind of trump card? Thinking of this, Li Sun breathed a sigh of relief, as long as his strength is not terrifying. As for the trump card, who doesn't have a whole card yet? The opponent uses the whole card, and I also use the whole card. At that time, it is enough to hide directly in the Yulingzhao. He does not believe that the other party can still pierce the low-grade flying spirit treasure of the Yulingzhao. Of course, from Li Sun's point of view, it is uncertain whether the opponent's whole card can be used a second time. There is a high probability that the opponent has no cards left. "Junior sister Lu, the demons around here have been almost killed by me. There shouldn't be any other demons coming over in a while." You stay here for the time being and don't walk around. 99. In a short while, I guess the elder in the sect will arrive. Li Sun said. Brotherly is going to save others? 35. Lu Qingxuang asked. Yes. 55. Li Sun nodded. Then, senior brother, be careful. Lu Qingxuang said solemnly. She didn't force Li Sun to stay, and she didn't want to follow her. Lu Qingxuang understood that her current state, even if she followed her past, would only add to the chaos. Watching Li Sun leave, Lu Qingxuang supported her body, stood up slowly, walked behind a big tree, restrained all her breath, and hid. At the same time, 10 miles away, on a mountain peak, the black mist was rolling in here. Devilish qi was extremely rich, and there was a deep red blood that flowed on the ground, forming a mysterious pattern. In the pattern, a blood pool, slowly spinning with endless blood light, rushed high into the sky and submerged into the space crack hanging on the sky. The blood light seems to be a link. One end is connected to the mountain, while the other end is connected to an unknown terrifying existence. As time passed, a terrifying aura gradually permeated the crack in the sky, with a certain evil nature in it, which made people shudder. Master, what are they doing? Yihan lay down not far away, his breath converged to the extreme, and his whole body merged with the darkness. Only a pair of eyes leaked out. Just 3 days ago, by chance, he officially became the inner disciple of Xianyang sect. In this trial, he originally wanted to kill a few more demonic beasts and exchange some spirit stones in Xianyang sect for the master to stabilize his soul. Unexpectedly, when I came to the Xianyang mountains, I didn't have time to start. Just came across this. Fortunately, he ran fast and hid in advance, so he was not caught by the alien demon 3.5. But other people were not so lucky. Many people were killed on the spot, and most of the rest were caught, and they were tied to black pillars like pigs. At this time, Yihan's location is excellent. It can be clearly seen that every arrested disciple of Xianyang sect. It can also be seen that there are 2 extraterritorial demons on the edge of the formation. The 2 extraterritorial demons, also dressed in black robes, were muttering words, and they kept hitting a symbol with both hands, submerging into the blood pool. Every time a symbol is played, the red luster in the blood pool will become stronger. Same. In the crack in the sky, the breath that permeates will also be a bit terrifying, as if in the near future, there will be a supreme being that crosses the border. If I guessed correctly, they should be offering sacrifices. The old voice in Yihan's mind said solemnly. Sacrifice? 35. Yihan was stunned. Right. In the old voice, with a touch of solemnity, he continued to speak. If the teacher guessed correctly, these 2 extraterritorial demons should treat the inner disciple of the Xianyang sect as a sacrifice. With their blood, summon a certain terrifying demon to cross the border. This. Yihan's face stiffened. These demons were already terrifying to him. God knows what a powerful existence the other party will summon. Yihan estimated that once the 2 foreign demons succeeded, it was estimated that the entire Xianyang sect would suffer annihilation. Master, is there any way we can stop them? Yihan asked in his mind. He is not an indifferent person. If he was really indifferent, he would have sneaked away long ago. After all, in his mind, there is still such a terrifying figure as Master. The dark fog in the sky may be able to trap the inner disciple, 13 of the Xianyang sect, but it will definitely not be able to trap Master Yihan. There are many ways, but none of them can be done by you. Your current strength is still too weak. The old voice said lightly. Is it still too weak? Yihan's face turned pale, and he slowly lowered his head. A trace of sadness flashed across his face. You don't have to worry too much. Yihan's master seemed to see through Yihan's inner thoughts, and after a faint sigh, he said with relief, this place is not far from Xianyang sect. It is estimated that in a while, the elders of Xianyang sect should arrive. 35. It's not a problem for them to take action to deal with these 2 extraterritorial demons. But, 99. Yihan pursed his lips. He looked at the mountain not far away. There were corpses placed there, roughly 200 or 300 corpses, All of them were inner disciples of the Xianyang sect. A quarter of an hour ago, it was still alive, but after a quarter of an hour, it has become an ice-cold corpse. To know. In this inner sect trial, altogether, there are just over 1,000 people. There are already 200 or 300 corpses placed here, plus some inner disciples who died in other places. If it is conservatively estimated, the people who participated in the trial this time may have suffered nearly half of the casualties. Witnessing all this, Yihan wanted to rush out to save people several times, but at the last moment he was stopped by the master. He is only at the early stage of vitality. Even if he rushes out, it will only give one more head, and it will not help the whole situation. In the cultivation world, it has always been so cruel. You have to learn to adapt, not. The old voice spoke. I want to persuade Yihan. But it's not over yet. On the mountain. A demon suddenly stopped the movement in his hand. He turned around and looked not far away. There were only more than 400 inner disciples of Xianyang sect left. Jing. He waved down with one hand, and a pitch-black blade of light, dozens of meters long, shot out, and with a puff, dozens of inner disciples, like grass mustards, had their heads cut off. Blood spurted out, staining the ground beneath his feet red. Dozens of headless corpses stood upright on the black pillars, completely losing their voices. The blood flowed, and it seemed to be pulled in some way. Instead of wanton turbulence, it merged into the blood pool not far away. With the addition of new blood, the brilliance in the blood pool became even more flamboyant. Damn! Extraterritorial demons, how dare you fight me in an upright battle? Kill my Xianyang sect disciple, and one day, I will invade the devil world outside the territory and completely wipe out all demons. When the other Xianyang sect disciples saw the scene in front of them, their eyes were bloodshot, and they were furious. They wanted to rush over and fight each other to the death. It's a pity that they were all tied to the post, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't break free at all. He could only helplessly watch one after another of his fellow apprentice brothers fall in front of him. There are some people whose faces are ashen and they are almost desperate. The speed of the other party's killing is too fast. Every time they make a move, dozens to more than 100 inner disciples will lose their lives, and they may not be able to wait for the elder to arrive. These people are completely dead. Don't worry, it will be your turn soon. It is an honor for you pigs to be the sacrifice of the devil. The demon who did it, the corner of his mouth cracked a stern smile. His eyes swept across everyone's face, making everyone feel a sense of horror in their hearts. It was as if he was being targeted by a terrifying creature. Damn it. 35. Not far away, Yihan, who was hiding in the dark, witnessed the fall of dozens of fellow apprentices and brothers. If his strength is enough, he can't wait to kill these two demons right here. Constraining killing intent. In Yihan's mind, the old voice immediately reminded him. But his voice just fell. The demon who had just started seemed to have sensed it. He turned his head and looked towards the place where Yihan was hiding. It turns out that there are still people who slip through the net. He let out a sinister smile and walked towards Yihan slowly. The pace is slow, but the speed is fast. Oops! The old voice exclaimed and shouted loudly, "Teacher, hurry back." Yihan didn't dare to hesitate. He stood up quickly in the dark, used his life's cultivation base, and ran towards 417 in the distance. Although he is very fast, that demon is even faster. Blink of an eye. He had already come behind Yihan, raised one palm, and slapped it down fiercely. This was the attack of an evil demon in the profound core realm, and his palm fell. Yihan has absolutely no way out. Far away, many inner disciples who were tied to the pillars couldn't help but close their eyes one after another, unable to bear to see the next scene. Teacher, this time I can only take action for the teacher. I will use your body to take you out of here, but after this time, the teacher will probably have to sleep for a while. The old voice spoke, and he was already planning to make a move. I'm the one who dragged the master. Yihan responded, feeling ashamed. Because of On's impulsiveness, both his master and his apprentice fell into a dangerous situation. The old man spoke. But it's not over yet. When? A figure bathed in golden light came first, and came to Yihan in an instant. He was calm and greeted him with the same palm, as if he was holding up a side of the world. It was heavy, atmospheric, and overwhelmed everything. Boom! A loud bang. The two palms collided together, making a sound like Huangjong Dalu, and the terrifying aftermath, centered on the two of them, spread frantically in all directions. Kick! 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 After a palm, that extraterritorial demon volleyed back a few steps. Li Sun was as motionless as a mountain. His eyes were indifferent with a hint of sharpness. His whole body was radiant, and his robes were hunting, like a god of war, standing there quietly. It's from our Xianyang sect. Could it be that an elder has arrived? That's great, we are saved. In front of my Xianyang sect elder, the doomsday for you demons outside the realm has come. 9. No, look carefully, the clothes on this person seem to be inner disciples' clothes. The Xianyang sect disciples who survived by chance after seeing the accident in the field, everyone was overjoyed and walked on the edge of life and death. No one can understand their mood at the moment. Just when everyone felt that they were in a desperate situation, a disciple suddenly spoke up and pointed out the key to the problem. Inner disciple? Many people turned and looked over. After seeing Li Sun's clothes, the original excitement was like being poured cold water, and it suddenly cooled from head to heel. If they are core disciples, they still have a chance. But inner disciple? They know the strength of the inner disciple of Xianyang sect too well, because everyone present is the identity of inner disciple. And the strongest inner disciple is only in the profound core realm. At this time, on the surrounding pillars, there are two inner disciples of the early stage of the profound core realm. In the past, their strength was terrifying, but now they have not been caught by foreign demons? Before, two inner disciples of the profound core realm, plus a core disciple of the divine ability realm, are not the opponents of the three-headed extraterritorial demons. Right now, there is only one inner disciple, and even if his strength is in the profound core realm, it is estimated that he will not be able to fight two extraterritorial demons together. Maybe there is no need for two foreign demons to join forces. Even if it is one, he can't beat it. At this time, rushing over is nothing more than sending an extra head. Junior brother, hurry up, you are not their opponent. On the black pillar, there is an inner disciple who reminded loudly. They have already been caught, and they really can't bear to see a fellow student continue to be caught by foreign demons. Jia, he can't go. A strange laugh came. The other demon from outside the realm noticed something was wrong. He stood up from the top of the mountain, stepped out, and came not far behind Li Sun. Blocked all the escape routes for Li Sun. Li Sun, senior brother? At this moment, behind Li Sun, Yihan looked at the back in front of him. For some reason, he felt a little familiar after thinking about it carefully. He was suddenly shocked. Isn't this the figure of senior brother Li Sun? Step aside. The faint 4 words came out. Yihan's body was shocked, and his eyes were full of incredible. This voice was too familiar to him. When he was cornered by Bai Xiaowei that night, he was the owner of this voice and rescued him. It was precisely because of Li Sun's action that he had some changes in Xianyang sect. In the past, he thought that everyone in the Xianyang sect was indifferent and ruthless, but after Li Sun, he suddenly realized that many people in the Xianyang sect were actually pretty good. He is also willing to lend a helping hand when others are in distress. It can be said, without Li Sun's help that day, he would have turned around and left without saying a word when he encountered such a situation today. Yes, brother Li Sun. Yihan suppressed the excitement in his heart, cupped his hands towards Li Sun's back, and quickly moved aside. He left the battle. The other two demons did not stop him. After all, in their opinion, Li Sun is the big fish, while Yihan is just a little shrimp in the vitality realm, who can be easily killed with a single finger. Don't worry about it at all. Go far. Yihan glanced at Li Sun's figure and asked worriedly, Master, can you see the strength of senior brother Li Sun? Master Yihan did not answer Yihan's words, but sighed. I didn't expect that. I was wrong again. Yihan. Li Sun's strength is already in the early stage of the Xiandan realm. If nothing else, he will bring Zhuanyangzong to a whole new level in the future. And the name of Xianyang sect will also add a holy character because of him. Zhuanyangzong adds a holy character, that is Xianyang Xingzong. Although it is only a word difference, the meanings are very different. The sect, which can be called the holy sect, is all within the sect, and there is a powerful force in the seat of the saint. Master said that, is it already certain that senior brotherly Sun must be a strong saint in the future? Master just said. Yihan seemed to have thought of something, and he asked again, senior brotherly Sun. Already in the profound core realm. Not bad. 99. The old voice responded. This. Yihan's expression froze. He thought that he had made enough progress, and it didn't take long for him to go from the 4th stage of forging to cultivation to the realm of vitality. This cultivation speed almost surpassed 99% of the geniuses in the history of Xianyang sect. What I didn't expect was that Li Sun's progress was even more exaggerated than his. He jumped to the Xiandan realm from the spiritual cultivation base not long ago. How did he cultivate it? That master thinks. Does senior brotherly be the opponent of these two extraterritorial demons? Yihan asked again. Hard to say. The old man pondered for a while and said slowly, now, little friend Yihan, even I can't see it clearly. It is estimated that he can appear at this time. Even if it's not the opponent of the two foreign demons, but it's not a big problem until the Xianyang sect elder arrives. 99. More than a day has passed since the arrival of the extraterritorial demons. Before, the core disciple of the Xianyang sect was severely injured. At the last minute, he sent out a few inner disciples. Those people counted the time, and they were almost at the Xianyang sect. Maybe after a while, the elder of Xianyang sect will kill him. That's good. Yihan breathed a sigh of relief. On the mountain, 3 Daoist shadows, standing in the sky. The gang wind was hunting and whistling, blowing the robes of the 3 of them. A chilling aura spread among the 3 of them. Although they hadn't started yet, that aura made the oppressed people almost out of breath. 99. Li Sun faced the 2 foreign demons with no fear. He turned his palm over, and a black thing that looked like a ball appeared in the palm of his hand. When other people haven't seen clearly what it is. With a flick of Li Sun's palm, the ball-like object flew out instantly, with a very fast speed, and even made a harsh whistling sound in the void. You dare! An evil spirit opened his mouth in a cold voice. He saw the ball-like thing, and the target was the blood pool not far away. This was the ultimate goal of their crossover this time, and no matter what, they could not let this human kid be ruined. Swish! With a flash of his figure, he caught up with the black object and grabbed it in his hand, but when he grabbed the object, his expression changed instantly. Black front. You killed Ebony? At this time, he finally saw the true face of the ball-like object, and it was the Black Front who came across the border with them. However, at this time, Heifeng had only one head left, and his entire body was completely blown up by Li Sun. So what? Li Sun spoke coldly. He stretched out his palm, and a halberd appeared in his hand. The moment he appeared, an extremely tragic and domineering aura filled the void. Li Sun was holding a halberd, and at this moment, he seemed to have transformed into an invincible god of war, which made everyone look at him. Sangling halberd. After using it once against the old man in red. Now he used that Sanglung halberd again. The main reason was that there were 2 powerful foreign demons here, and the opponent might have some trump cards in their hands, so Li Sun had to use that Sangling halberd to fight quickly. Boom! The instant that Sanglung halberd appeared, it smashed out. This halberd represents the ultimate strength, extremely fierce, like a piece of earth, pressing over, rumbling, and making the entire void distorted. The demon who caught Heifeng's head showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth, competing for strength. He was really not afraid of human beings at the same level. Having the ability to kill Heifeng proves that you are not weak, and I believe in your blood, Lord Demon King will definitely be very satisfied. This demon, soaring into the sky, clenched a fist with one hand and charged towards Li Sun with an unstoppable aura. When? 99. Just got in touch. The smile on the demon's face solidified. How can it be so powerful? After his arrival, Even in the face of a human being in the supernatural state, he did not have such great power, but now he is actually in front of a human equivalent. His proud body was actually suppressed. Not good. 35. The demon screamed and struggled backwards. He pushed out with both hands, trying to block the halberd, but the result disappointed him. The Zangling halberd is too heavy. Like a mountain, it is invincible. With a puff, his hands turned into a black mist of blood, then his arms, and finally his body, which was only touched by the Zangling halberd. The whole person was beaten into a pile of rotten flesh and black blood and bone scum splattered. Desert. The last demon roared. All this happened so fast that he didn't react at all. In his opinion, the main task of Owen was to cut off Li Sun's back path. After all, he didn't think that Li Sun would be a dark opponent. But what he didn't expect was that with just one move, Haimo was completely destroyed. The body shattered into a pool of flesh and blood. Although he didn't die, he was still injured. Have to say, extraterritorial demons, this is very heaven-defying. If you change a race, such as a human or a monster, your body will be beaten into rotten flesh, and you will no longer be able to die. But the demons outside the realm can be infinitely resurrected before the source is exhausted. You die for me. The last demon, with a roar, charged up quickly, faster than lightning, and hit Li Sun at once. Chong! Li Sun's hand swept the halberd, and the boundless wind swept it away. Then, out of the corner of his eyes, he looked down at the dark desert, who was rapidly reshaping his body. Without any hesitation, he landed and stomped his head. This time, the source of darkness was completely exhausted, and his headless body slowly fell down. Boom! The body of an extraterrestrial demon fell to the ground, and the sound it made was not too loud. Compared with the sound of Li Sun fighting, it could be said to be inaudible. But at this time, many people could hear it clearly, and the inner disciple of the Xianyang sect, who survived by chance, looked at the headless corpse with a wonderful expression on his face. Too strong. 99. An inner disciple exclaimed in amazement. Before, a core disciple from the divine ability realm, plus 2 inner disciples from the cultivation base in the profound core realm, were not the opponents of the 3 extraterrestrial demons. Now, this unfamiliar senior brother, as soon as he appeared, was 1 against 2. It's just 1 enemy and 2, and it is unbelievable that he can directly kill an extraterritorial demon in an instant. To know, extraterritorial demons are notoriously hard to kill and hard to destroy. The 2 demons now in front of this senior brother are just like toys. They only have the ability to parry, and they have no ability to fight back. Senior brother, be careful of the last demon. He has BDDF, a black jade talisman in his hand, which can kill the supernatural powerhouse. At this time, a disciple reminded loudly, Jade talisman? Do you really have a whole card? Li Sun saw it clearly. He rushed out quickly, and the Zangling halberd swung down continuously. Every move was extremely terrifying, and he did not give the opponent any chance to use his trump card. Soon after, boom! Li Sun had thick black hair, danced wildly, and fell with a halberd, smashing the last demon's body to smithereens. When he wanted to recover his body again, Li Sun made another blow. So far, the 3 strongest demons all fell. Gudong. Yihan swallowed a mouthful of saliva and looked at Li Sun's back like a god not far away, and the thought of wanting to worship rose in his heart. Is this the strength of senior brother Li Sun? 2-headed demons, not right. 3-headed demons, beheaded without injury. If this spread out, it would definitely cause an uproar. Master, do you think I can catch up in the footsteps of brother Li Sun in my life? Yihan murmured in his mind. This time, his master did not reply immediately. After a moment, in Yihan's mind, master's faint voice sounded. Li Sun little friend's golden body formula has been completed. Yihan, front. The golden body art was given to Li Sun by him, and he has cultivated it himself. He can cultivate so far, but it has only been 10 days, and he has just started. Even Xiao Chang didn't make it. But the master suddenly told him that senior brother Li Sun's golden body art has been completed. Is this the difference? In other words, Master is telling him euphemistically that if he wants to catch up with brotherly Sun in this life, he is almost out of the game. Master Yihan sighed lightly, and he still didn't say a word. That is the weapon in the hands of Li Sun, and it is not an ordinary weapon, but a weapon of the spirit treasure level. If he read it right, at least it must be a top-quality Lingao. Such weapons, even in the Xianyang sect, have few at all. Yihan, save people. When Yihan was in a trance, a clear voice called him back. It is good. Yihan didn't hesitate, ran to a pillar quickly, and rescued an inner disciple according to the instructions given by the master. And Li Sun. Then he walked to the blood pool, swung the halberd, slammed it down with a bang, blood splashed, and the entire blood pool was torn apart by him. The blood pool was destroyed. The ritual was completely interrupted. The space crack in the sky also began to slowly heal. It's all settled. Li Sun breathed a sigh of relief and put away the Tsunglong halberd in his hand. He glanced at the foot of the mountain. At this time, there were still many demons below, roughly tens of thousands. This is not something he can manage. As long as he saves these inner disciples himself, it will be enough. The rest is left to the elders Wanyangzong to deal with headaches. Turn around. A smile rose on Li Sun's face, and he walked towards an inner disciple. This junior sister, your injury is not serious. I happen to have a healing medicine pill. You can take it first and then. Ding, congratulations to the master. The investment was successful, and I got 10 top-grade spirit stones. Do you want to receive it? Ding, congratulations to the master. The investment is successful, and the cultivation base has been obtained for 5 years. Do you want to receive it? Ding, congratulations to the master. The investment is successful, and I have obtained a low-grade magical item Frost Sword. Do you want to receive it? Ding, congratulations to the master. Successful investment. Get L. 2 quarters later. After Li Sun invested more than 200 people, looking around, he finally did not shine on his body dash. Fortunately, I have been to Wanbao Pavilion once before, otherwise, I would not have seen so many people who can invest today. Li Sun felt fortunate in his heart. The last time I was in the Wanbao Pavilion, I only spent dozens of top-grade spirit stones. Now, I am afraid that 100,000 top-grade spirit stones can't buy what I have invested in. At this time, how many good things are saved in the system? He couldn't tell himself. Just now, I was only focusing on investment, and I didn't hear the system's prompt sound at all. Healing medicine pill has been used up, and we have to go to Wanbao Pavilion again. Li Sun thought to himself. This moment. He even suspected that it was not because the remaining 200 people could not invest, but mainly because he did not have enough medicine pills. After all, before his arrival, these people had fought against foreign demons, and almost everyone had injuries on their bodies. The only difference was that some people were seriously injured, and some people were slightly injured. Loss. Li Sun pursed his lips. At this moment, he felt that his heart was bleeding. I clearly know that there are many people here who may glow with white light or even blue light, but because they don't have anything they need. As a result, you can't see the light at all, let alone invest. Brother. At this time, Yihan's voice came from behind. Li Sun turned around, saw 2 dark bracelets in his hands, and respectfully handed them to him, saying, Senior brother, this is what I took off the wrists of 2 extraterritorial demon beasts, and junior brother specially sent it to you. Oh. Li Sun gave Yihan a deep look. As expected of the person with the protagonist template on his body, others are recovering from their injuries, so he thought of picking up the spoils, which echoes the style of most protagonists. Fortunately, he and Yihan had a good relationship before. Yihan didn't dare to be greedy for his own trophies. There is Brother Lao. Li Sun said. Senior brother is too polite. This is what junior brother should do. If there is no senior brother to take action, I am afraid that junior brother will explain it here today. 99. Yihan was a little embarrassed. Haha. Li Sun chuckled lightly and didn't answer. Yihan, like Qin Shui, has his own gold finger on his body. Since the other party doesn't want to say it, he doesn't bother to dismantle it. Divine sense dips into a bracelet. Li Sun probably glanced at it. The inner space of this bracelet is not large, about a dozen cubic meters, and there are a bunch of materials that he does not know. There is also a pile of dark stones about the size of spirit stones in this world. At first glance, there should be several $1,000s. Lee Sun took out a piece at random, held it in his hand, and suddenly a cold feeling spread from his hand. Blood essence stone. In Yihan's mind, the exclamation of the master came out. Master Yihan murmured to himself, how could the foreign demons invade again without the blood essence stone? 35 foot. Master, what is the blood essence stone? Yihan asked curiously. It was the first time he had heard these 3 words. Blood essence stone is a unique product in the world of foreign demons. Like spirit stones in our world, it is a currency. 35. The only difference is that the spirit stones of our world can enhance the cultivation base and restore vitality, while the blood essence stones of the foreign demons can strengthen the body. They can be reborn from a broken limb, or even reborn from a drop of blood. That's the effect of the blood essence stone. Hiss. Yihan took a deep breath, and when he looked at the blood essence stone in Lee Sun's hand, he put on an envious look, but it was only envy. Brother Lee Sun saved his life again today, but he can't be ashamed to ask for it. In our world, if you want to be reborn from a broken limb, you must at least be a saint cultivation base, and if you want to be reborn from a drop of blood, you must at least be a great emperor. And in the world of demons outside the realm, even demons in the primordial chi realm can be reborn from a broken limb, and in the profound core realm, they can even be reborn from a drop of blood. The old voice spoke slowly. The shock in Yihan's eyes became more intense. This is too terrifying. Under different world rules, the items spawned are simply perverted. Our world needs the blood essence stones, and the alien demons covet the spirit stones in our world. Countless years ago, the extraterritorial demons had a battle with our world. We won that battle and obtained a lot of blood essence stones, but because the world of the extraterritorial demons could not be found, the blood essence stones used one less. PC 35. In today's era, it is almost invisible, and every piece is a priceless treasure. This. ABJ. Yihan glanced at the piece in Lee Sun's hand, and then looked down at the mountain, where there were still tens of thousands of low-level extraterritorial demons still alive. These demons are not too weak in strength. Each has a cultivation base in the vitality realm, and each of them carries a few blood essence stones. Is it not too much? Don't look at it. Storage magical items are very precious in the demon world, and it is impossible for low-level demons to carry blood essence stones with them. The old voice said lightly. As soon as these words came out, the fantasy in Yihan's heart was suddenly extinguished. That? Yihan pondered for a while and asked in a low voice, Master, do you know when the demons from outside the realm are coming? Just now, I was looking at the vicious foreign demons, but this time, the effort that fell into Yihan's eyes turned out to be a little cute. That depends on when they want to invade. Master Yihan said angrily. Even if people come, they may not be in the same place. The next time may be thousands of miles away, or hundreds of millions of miles away. If you want to continue to meet them, luck is the most important thing. And, even if they come here, how can you be sure that there are still only 3 profound core realm powerhouses? Maybe next time, they will have 3 saints. All right. Yihan nodded helplessly. Glancing at Lee Sun, who was holding the blood essence stone with a contemplative expression on his face, Yihan sorted out his thoughts and spoke slowly. Brother, do you know what this is? I don't know, junior brother, have you understood? Lee Sun shook his head and asked with a smile. He knew that Yihan was with an old grandfather, and it was estimated that the old grandfather had already spread all the knowledge to him at this moment, right? And junior brother happened to see it in an ancient book. If junior brother remembers correctly, this thing should be called blood essence stone. Yihan pretended to think for a moment, and then said what the master told him. After listening carefully, Lee Sun suddenly realized. Emotion. The biggest harvest of my day is here. Reborn from a broken limb, reborn from a drop of blood. Which cultivator is not jealous? The few extraterritorial demons just now, everyone present can see, as long as the source is still there, Even if they are beaten into blood mud or even blood mist, they can be reborn. This kind of ability, at this stage of the profound core realm, can be called a bug. This is Lee Sun. Today, it is replaced by other cultivators of the profound core realm. It is estimated that how many will die. After all, the extraterritorial demons can be regarded as creatures that cannot be defeated or killed. The last thing they fear is a war of attrition. For 1 7-inch. Thank you, junior brother Yihan. Lee Sun took a deep look at Yihan and said, "The other party envy the blood essence stone in his hand. Why doesn't he envy the old grandfather behind the other party? With such an existence, it is equivalent to carrying an encyclopedia with you, plus a bookstore, and you can save your life at a critical moment, which is better than any gold finger." Senior brother, don't thank me. Junior brother didn't do anything. Yihan smiled awkwardly, a little embarrassed. He really didn't do anything. He just repeated what the master said just now. A few more greetings. Lee Sun sent Yihan away, and Divine Sense reached into another storage bracelet. The contents in this one are similar to the previous one. The only difference is that there is an extra black jade talisman. The jade talisman is not big, about 3 inches long and 1 inch wide. The tentacles are warm and radiant, and it looks very mysterious. Unfortunately, there is a crack in the middle. This is probably their trump card. Lee Sun thought in his heart that he could detect that there was a terrifying energy hidden in this jade talisman. Once stimulated, it was estimated that he could instantly kill a supernatural powerhouse. Even if it is a life and death situation, if you are not careful, you will be hit hard. Looking at the appearance of the crack, it should still be used twice. Lee Sun was very satisfied. In this way, there is one more trump card of own, and if you encounter a strong enemy in the future, you can directly activate the Jade Talisman, and you can definitely catch the opponent by surprise. Correct. Lee Sun put away the Jade Talisman. His expression suddenly changed, and he muttered, "I seem to have forgotten a storage bracelet." 95. When rescuing Lu Qingxuang, he also killed a demon outside the Xiandan realm. At the beginning, he was trying to rescue other people, so he didn't pay much attention. Think back to this time. Lee Sun suddenly felt as if he had lost 100 million. To know. These 2 storage bracelets have thousands of blood essence stones in them, and the extraterritorial demon is also not weak, and it is estimated that there must be thousands of blood essence stones in it. I have to go back and have a look and bring Lu Qingxuang back. By the way, she was outside alone and was seriously injured. It is too dangerous. Lee Sun thought so in his heart and turned to leave. But at this time, boom! A loud bang came. The sky suddenly shattered. To be precise, the formation that had been covering a radius of hundreds of miles was shattered, and the terrifying Qi machine fell, covering a radius of hundreds of miles in an instant. On the sky, a round of scorching sun emerged, emitting all kinds of divine light, illuminating 9 heavens. That is not the real sun, but a huge creature. The imposing manner is too terrifying. Just the natural escape of Qi has caused such a terrifying scene. Roar! The huge creature let out a roar that shook the sky, shaking the void, and all the nearby mountains shuddered. Extraterrestrial demons! You are so courageous. How dare you to act wild within the scope of my Xianyang sect? This old man must exterminate the demons and guard the way today, and clear the universe. The old but rich voice came from the sky, with an undisguised killing intent, making people shudder. Until this time. Only then did the Xianyang sect disciple who survived by chance could clearly see the huge creature on the sky. It was a golden-haired male lion with a height of more than 10 meters. Like a hill, it stood on the void, with golden light flowing all over its body, as if it was made of gold. On the back of the male lion, an old man wearing purple clothes and gray hair stood with his hands behind his back. Eyes opened and closed, cold light overflowing. He raised one hand and pointed it into a sword. The exuberant energy, like a galaxy cluster, was surging, submerging the heavens and the earth. The old man clicked. Hundreds of millions of sword rays shot out, like a river hanging from the sky, falling down from beyond the clouds, rumbling all of a sudden, submerging the entire radius of hundreds of miles. Looking around, every inch of space is filled with sword ray. The good thing is that these sword rays are just beheading demons, and all the disciples of Xianyang sect have been deliberately avoided. Puff, puff, puff. Continuous voices came. Rao is that demons can be reborn from severed limbs, but under this endless sword ray, they can't last for long. After killing the demons, the old man was quite unsatisfied. He frowned and wanted to say something, that's all. Before, in the great hall of Xianyang sect, several inner disciples wept bitterly, saying that they and others encountered extremely terrifying foreign demons, and even core disciple Wang Ming could not resist. AJM. He has killed tens of thousands of demons by himself, but there is not even a single one that surpasses the spirit realm. Could it be that the inner disciple of the Xianyang sect this year is already so unbearable? There are more than 1,000 people, including Divine Ability Realm, Profound Core Realm, and many disciples of Spiritual Accumulation Realm. Together, these people can't beat tens of thousands of Qi Realm demons? Next second, the old man's divine sense spread, and after sweeping to a hill, his expression changed. 99. He stepped out one step, and the next second appeared directly on the top of the mountain. I saw the old man appear. The inner disciples who survived by chance all saluted respectfully. I've been waiting to see Xia Elder. I've been waiting to see you, Elder. I've been waiting to see Xia Elder. 39. Get up. Elder Xia raised his hand and saw that there were only a few hundred inner disciples left. His expression was not very good. When he came out, there were more than 1,000, and now it is less than half. 3.5. He said in a deep voice, "Where's Wang Ming?" "Brother Wang," an inner disciple, hesitant to speak. "Say." Xia Elder gave a light drink. Senior Brother Wang fought hard against the three-headed demons, but in the end lost, and fell. Hearing this, Elder Xia had a bad premonition in his heart and asked, "Where is the demon that killed Wang Ming?" No one was waiting for a response. Out of the corner of his eye, he glanced at the corpses of two demons. Although their corpses had been smashed to pieces, it was not difficult to see that when these two demons were alive, their strength should not be underestimated. The strongest demon is dead? Xia Elder muttered. At this moment, he felt his face burning hot. Feelings come too late. Who killed this? Xia Elder spoke again. There was no answer in the field, but everyone's eyes were focused on the figure in white at the very front. Xia Elder followed the crowd. He looked at Li Sun and said in surprise, "You killed these two exotic demons?" "Yes, it is Junior." Li Sun arched his cupped hands, said, "Good, good, good." Xia Elder said good things 3 times in a row, with a look of surprise on his face. Although the two demons on the ground are dead, they can still see that the opponent is not weak. After all, the opponent killed a supernatural core disciple. Its horror is evident. But such a terrifying demon fell into the hands of an inner disciple. This shows what? This shows that the inner disciple in front of me has huge potential and is almost as powerful as his peers. Without such means, how could he kill 2 demons? "What's your name?" Xia Elder asked. "Junior Li Sun." "Li Sun? Good name." Xia Elder sighed. He looked at Li Sun with admiration and continued, "You killed 2 demons and made a great contribution to sect. When I look back, I will definitely report to head teacher and ask for the credit for you." 13. Although it's hard to say what the specific reward is, there is one thing this elder can assure you, that is, the cultivation technique of the prefecture level low grade in the Sutra Collection Pavilion. You can choose anyone. 55. Low grade cultivation technique. The disciple of Xianyang sect next to him heard these words. Everyone was short of breath and looked at Li Sun with envious eyes. Whether it is supernatural power or cultivation technique, as long as the word prefecture is brought on, it is of extraordinary value, and it can cause a bloody storm when placed in the outside world. Every Xianyang sect disciple can choose a cultivation technique or martial arts of the prefecture level low grade only when he is promoted to core disciple. Notice, is 1. In other words, if you take cultivation technique, you can't take martial arts, and if you take martial arts, you can't take cultivation technique. If you want to get one more, unless you make a contribution to the division, and this cannot be an ordinary contribution, you expect to do the task of the division to exchange for a prefecture-level cultivation technique. 100 years to say the least. And today, Lee Sin just killed 2 demons, so he got a prefecture-level cultivation technique. When he becomes a core disciple, he can still choose one. In other words, in just 1 day's work, he has saved other people 100 years of time. How can this not be envied? Elder. At this moment, Yihan suddenly stood up. He glanced at Lee Sun, and then said, "Brother Lee Sun, I didn't kill 2 demons, but 3. Others have forgotten, but he has not." When senior brother Lee Sun appeared, he appeared with the head of a 3rd demon. That is to say, before coming here, Lee Sun had already killed the 3rd demon in advance. No one mentioned this matter at the moment, and he, Yihan, was the first to stand up and report the matter to Elder Xia. After all, he has almost become a fan of Lee Sun now. Not to mention, Lee Sun has several times of life-saving grace for him. Compared with the life-saving grace, what he has done is too trivial. Oh? After hearing Yihan's words, Elder Xia's eyes lit up again, and he looked at Lee Sun with more satisfaction. Not arrogant or impetuous, not greedy for merit, this quality is rare. Based on Lee Sun's performance today, he can be sure that Lee Sun's achievements in the future will definitely be higher than himself. I never thought that my Xianyang sect had a real dragon, and cultivate well, and the future Xianyang sect will depend on you. Xia Elder said solemnly. Thank you, Elder, for your compliments. Lee Sun responded. He has been thinking about the storage bracelet of the previous demon, and his mind is not here at all, even if it is about the 3rd demon just now. Yihan said it for him. After you become a core disciple, if you want to apprentice, you can consider this old man. Xia Elder said with a smile. After Zhuaniangzong became a core disciple, he could find a master to apprentice. Of course, not everyone can find a master. After all, some core disciples are completely boiled up, and their qualifications are not very good. Such a disciple would never be accepted by an elder. But Lee Sun is different from them. Today, Xia Elder said that after he became a core disciple, he was considered to have a master, and he had already made a reservation. However, it depends on Lee Sun's personal opinion whether to be a teacher or not, and who to be a teacher. Even Xia Elder did not force it. This is also a kind of preferential treatment for geniuses. No one else can find a master, but Lee Sun can pick one. All right. Without waiting for Lee Sun to answer, lest he would be embarrassed to be rejected on the spot, Xia Elder directly changed the subject. He looked at the disciples next to him and said, "You guys, go down the mountain and look for it to see if there are any other inner disciples left, and bring them all back. This old man will take you back to Xianyang sect." 9. Yes. The few disciples who were targeted were all in the spirit realm, and their injuries were relatively minor. After hearing Elder Xia's order, Yujian quickly left and searched for other inner disciples at the foot of the mountain. "Elder, the disciple also leaves." Lee Sun said something. "Good." 35. Xia Elder nodded with a smile. After Lee Sun left, Xia Elder took a few steps and came to a few demons. Looking at the mouths of these demon corpses, there was a strange brilliance in his eyes. It's such a good treasure. The body is so tough. If it is used for refining, maybe it can be used to refine a few top-grade magic treasures. Xia Elder clicked his tongue. He knows some refining methods, and seeing these few demon corpses at this time, it is inevitable that he will be a little itchy, but unfortunately, these 2 demons were not killed by him. 417. It's not good for him to forcibly put it away. When Lee Sun comes back, the old man asks him if he wants it. If he doesn't want it, even if he buys it directly, it is not impossible. 99. Soon after, holding a slender figure, Lee Sun flew back from a distance. The person he was holding was not someone else. It was Lu Qingshuang. After finding the 3rd storage bracelet, Lee Sun found Lu Qingshuang, who was hiding not far away. The injury on the other side was still serious, and even walking was a problem. Simply, Li Sun directly hugged it back. Being held in Li Sun's arms, Lu Qingxuang's whole body softened, her face flushed red, and she hid her small head on Li Sun's chest, not daring to raise her head to meet anyone at all. As everyone knows, at the side, many young disciples, after seeing Lu Qingxuang, everyone's complexion was extremely complicated, and they only hated that their injuries were less severe. Cannot be replaced. Back at the top of the mountain again, Li Sun hadn't stopped. Suddenly, a crisp voice resounded in my mind. Ding! Congratulations to the master, discovering a blue investor, investing in 2 extraterrestrial demon corpses, you can get 1 enlightenment pill. Hear the sound. Li Sun glanced around and saw Elder Xia, not far away, standing next to the 2 extraterrestrial demons. His body was covered with a layer of blue light at a speed visible to the naked eye. Enlightenment Dan? Li Sun's eyes lit up. The last time he ate one, he knew too well the power of Dao Enlightenment Pill. With this medicine pill, you may be able to try it out and cultivate the Great Evolution Technique. The cultivation technique of the top grade of heaven. Still looking forward to thinking about it. Li Sun found a clean stone, put down Lu Qingxuang gently, and walked towards Elder Xia. Not far behind Xia Elder. Li Sun said, could it be that the Elder likes the corpses of these 2 extraterrestrial demons? You're back. Elder Xia turned around, glanced at Li Sun, and said with a smile, for countless years, the demons from outside the realm have not appeared in this world. Every corpse is of extraordinary value. 5. The old man is indeed quite similar, I don't know. Xia Elder was thinking about what price he should pay to get Li Sun to give up his love. Since Xia Elder likes it, then give it to Xia Elder. Li Sun said calmly. For him, these 2 corpses are really useless, and he doesn't know how to refine tools, so they are just occupying space. I gave it to Elder Xia today, just in exchange for a Daoist enlightenment pill. Send it to the old man? Xia Elder's eyes twitched, and he couldn't believe it. He said solemnly, do you know the value of the body of this extraterritorial demon? Their world is different from ours. The alien demons began to temper their bodies from the beginning of cultivation. It can be said that their bodies are the most precious wealth, and their value is similar to the monster core. Monster core is very precious in this world. After all, it is the essence of the monster's life. But compared with the corpses of the extraterrestrial demons, it is still a lot worse. There are many demon races in this world, but there is not a single extraterritorial demon. Comparing the 2, it is clear at a glance which value is higher and which is lower. It's just an extraterritorial demon in the profound core realm, and it's just a dead thing left in Junior's hands. I gave it to Elder Xia today to make the best use of it, Li Sun said. Xia Elder didn't answer right away. He thought for a while, and a jade card appeared in his hand, which he put in front of Li Sun, and said solemnly, the corpse of the foreign demon is very valuable. Since you want to give it to this old man, then I can't say anything. After returning to Zhuanyangzong, you take my jade card and go to the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion to choose a prefecture-level middle-grade cultivation technique. If anyone asks, say it's me. 35. Then thank you, Elder. Li Sun took the jade card and said in surprise, the value of the prefecture-level cultivation technique will double every time a small grade is raised. An investment of oneself, not only in exchange for a Taoist enlightenment pill, but also in exchange for a local-level mid-grade cultivation technique. No matter how you look at it, it is a safe and profitable business. Not to mention, he also has a cultivation technique advanced symbol. On the surface, Elder Xia gave him a cultivation technique of a local-level middle-grade product, but in fact he gave him a cultivation technique of a heaven-grade middle-grade product. The prefecture-level cultivation technique differs by a small grade, and the value is already quite different. If it is put on the sky-level cultivation technique, it will be even more exaggerated. It should be the old man thanking you. In terms of rarity, there are too many extraterritorial demons. Xia Elder waved his hand and continued, today is the old man's favor for you. Correct. Elder Xia remembered something and continued, the prefecture-level cultivation technique is only one of the rewards, and there should be other rewards after returning to sect. When the time comes, The old man will arrange for someone to send it to you. And also, Li Sun's eyes lit up. He understood that this was his act of gifting Xia Elder's extraterritorial demon corpse just now, and it worked. If there is no action just now, it is estimated that even if there is a reward, it will have to be collected by himself. But now it is different. Xia Elder directly arranges someone to deliver it to himself. Even in the cultivation world, in addition to fighting and killing, it is inevitable to know the world. After Li Sun thanked him, Elder Xia nodded slightly and said nothing. He waved his sleeves. He put away the bodies of the two extraterrestrial demons on the ground, and then glanced at the inner disciple who had already been brought back. In the depths of his eyes, there was a hint of gloom. More than 1,000 people came out. As a result, up to now, it is full of calculations, that is, in the early 500. Most of the inner disciples were damaged here, which was undoubtedly a huge blow to Xianyang sect. Golden Lion. Xia Elder called out. In the void, the huge golden lion let out a loud roar, as if he had received some kind of instruction, and his body, which was more than 10 meters tall, grew several times larger, like a small mountain. It exudes awe-inspiring power. Elder Xia waved his sleeve robe lightly, and a gust of breeze blew past, holding up all the inner disciples and sitting on the back of the golden lion. After everyone was seated, the golden lion turned into a golden light and flew towards Xuanyangzong quickly. Back to sect. All the people dispersed. Li Sun went to the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion alone. Soon, when he came to His Excellency the Tibetan scriptures, it was still the elder in purple, blocking Li Sun's way. He glanced at the jade badge on Li Sun's waist. Your teacher's contribution is insufficient, and you cannot enter the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. Li Sun, who had long expected this to happen, took out the jade card Xia Elder gave to his own, and handed it over directly. Elder Z's complexion changed slightly. He took a look at the jade card, and said in surprise, "Thank you, Elder, for letting you come?" "Right." Li Sun nodded. Elder Z looked at Li Sun up and down. His attitude was much gentler. He turned sideways and said, "Go in. Remember that there is only 1 hour. 5. You can choose a cultivation technique on the upper 3 floors." "Thank you." Li Sun thanked him and walked into the Sutra Collection Pavilion. After coming in, out of the corner of Li Sun's eyes, he swept across the entire first floor of the Sutra Collection Pavilion. Among the many outer sect disciples, a layer of white light gradually rose from his body. At the same time, in his mind, the sound of the system also sounded. Sure enough, the Tibetan Scripture Pavilion is still my blessed place. Wu De Jiao. A smile flashed in Li Sun's eyes. After spending more than half an hour and investing in more than 20 disciples, Li Sun stopped moving, and then Sher Shiran walked towards the upper 3 floors. In situ, many disciples watched Li Sun go away with reverence. Come to the 9th floor of the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. The cultivation technique here is obviously much less than the following. The prefecture-level cultivation technique is too precious. Even in the huge sect of Xianyang sect, there are only 73 copies, which also include 3 grades of prefecture-level prices. Except that the top grades of the prefecture level cannot be selected, and the lower grades of the prefecture level Li Sun cannot be looked down upon. There are only 17 cultivation technique books left. Carefully compared for a long time, Li Sun finally found his favorite cultivation technique. Purple Yaotian Compass. After passing it into the Identity Jade card, Li Sun quickly returned to his own residence. Li Sun Courtyard. Inside the room, Li Sun Lotus Position sat on the steps with excitement in his eyes. His harvest today was beyond his expectations. He invested hundreds of times, and he could not count how many good things the system had given him. Not to mention, in the hands of the foreign demons, he grabbed 3 storage bracelets. Each of the blood essence stones in the bracelet is a priceless treasure, and if you throw out a few, I am afraid it will cause a bloody storm. In addition, Sect also sent a local-level mid-grade cultivation technique. Listening to Elder Xia, there will be rewards in the follow-up, but Li Sun doesn't care much anymore, and the value of follow-up rewards will definitely not exceed a local-level mid-grade cultivation technique. It's probably just a token reward. Holding back his excitement, Li Sun said in his heart system, "Get rewards." The voice fell. Buzz. A terrifying power pervaded him. The cultivation base, which was originally in the early stage of the profound pill realm, instantly reached the middle stage of the profound pill realm, and it was only a thin line from the late stage of the profound pill realm. To increase so much strength, it should take decades for cultivation base, right? Li Sun muttered. There are too many investments this time, and there are many inner disciples. After the investment, the reward is the cultivation base, but everyone is only a few years old, but all of them are added together. It's been almost decades. When Li Sun was immersed in the thrill of breakthrough. Boom. 99. A loud bang. Li Sun felt that the entire courtyard seemed to tremble a bit, and he immediately recovered from the thrill of breakthrough. Now, in front of him, spirit stones piled up in the room, and the rich spiritual chi almost turned into substance. Among them, the spirit stones of the upper, middle, and lower grades were innumerable. Even Li Sun saw 2 top-quality spirit stones in the spirit stones pile. This is a rare item. A top-quality spirit stones can be exchanged for 1 million low-quality spirit stones, which is a huge sum of money. Crash! Li Sun stretched out his hand and scratched, and in the pile of spirit stones, he found a lot of weapons, medicine pills, cheats, and other items. Sometimes, too many rewards can be a pain. Li Sun sighed. With so many things, it would take a lot of time just to count them. Looking up at the sky outside, Li Sun didn't hesitate for too long. Divine sense came out and started to quickly organize. After half an hour, the room full of system rewards was finally sorted out by him. There are more than 120,000 pieces of spirit stones, including 4 grades of spirit stones of upper, middle, and lower grades. There are 97 bottles of medicine pill. There are healing pills, Yangshan pills, Peiyuan pills, Dao enlightenment pills, and so on. Li Sun even saw a bottle of acacia powder in it. I don't know, but the system rewarded me, BDF. After investing in that cultivation wizard. There are 16 pieces of various weapon defense magic treasures, all of which are magical items. There is no Lingao handle, but there are 2 pieces of armor. Li Sun looked good and put it away. Maybe it will be used in the future. 39 elixirs were more than 100 years old. Most of them were hundreds of years old, and there were only 3 elixirs that were more than 1,000 years old. There are 24 martial arts of cultivation technique, 21 of which are Huang level and 3 are Xian level. For Li Sun, it doesn't make much sense. Because he didn't have anything that he could use here, but he did have a halberd method, but it was only a low-level yellow rank. He glanced at it and threw it aside. Besides, there are some other heavenly and mortal treasures, such as the red flame stone, the millennium cold iron, and the like. These things are of less value to him. He didn't even know how to refine the equipment, so he could only keep it to see if he could invest in it later. If you can't, you can only go to Wanbao Pavilion and sell it all. Cool. Li Sun let out a long breath, put away all the things that the system rewarded, and then took out the Xiaotian compass. This is the cultivation technique he found in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion. The grade is the middle grade. According to the description in the cultivation technique, once the cultivation has reached its peak, it will not be a problem to pick up the stars and take the moon, and move mountains to reclaim the sea. Earth level is so terrifying. How powerful should it be if you advance to the heaven level? Li Sun did not hesitate. Directly take out the cultivation technique advanced symbol and slap it on the identity jade card. A purple light flashed. Li Sun divine sense once again probed into the jade card, the original Ziwei Tian Luo Jing, although the name has not changed, but the content has undergone earth-shaking changes. Heavenly middle grade. Li Sun was pleasantly surprised and hurried to check it out. A quarter of an hour later, he took back the divine sense, and he was extremely shocked. The heaven-level middle grade Ziwei Tian Luo Sutra was advanced on the basis of the earth grade middle grade. Essentially, there is no difference in cultivation technique, but the power of true yuan has improved several grades. Such a cultivation technique, there shouldn't be a few books in the Tibetan Sutra Pavilion, right? Li Sun sighed. After the completion of the prefecture-level cultivation technique cultivation, he is not sure whether he can pick up the stars, move the mountains, and reclaim the sea, but he can be sure that after the completion of the heaven-level cultivation technique, he will definitely be able to do this. Li Sun's mind was quiet, and after adjusting all the conditions to the best, he began to cultivate according to the crepe myrtle heavenly luo jing. Buzz. The crepe myrtle tian luo jing of the middle grade is extremely domineering. Just a cultivation. Li Sun's body, as if some kind of seal had been lifted, the potential in his body exploded, his essence pierced through Xiaohan and pierced through the sky, like a big dragon flying into the sky. Crazy absorption of spiritual qi from all directions. This is a world-shattering scene that can be clearly seen within a radius of dozens of miles. Li Sun was dressed in white clothes, sitting cross-legged in the room, with flying black hair and crystal-clear body, like a god, peaceful and quiet, unaware of everything in the outside world. And at this time, Xianyang sect, head teacher Great Hall. During the day, Elder Xia stood respectfully in the Great Hall. In front of him was a middle-aged man with a refined face and a bookish air. His eyes were as deep as the stars, looking at the direction where inner disciple lived. After seeing the long qi and blood dragon rising from Li Sun's courtyard, his expression became dignified. That direction should be the residence of inner disciple Li Sun just mentioned by Elder Xia, right? Zhuanyangzong head teacher spoke slowly, with a gentle voice that made people smell like a spring breeze. Probably so. 9. Thank you, Elder, for speaking. He and Li Sun met for the first time today, and it is still unknown where the other party lives in the inner sect. In the entire inner sect, thousands of disciples, except Li Sun as you say, no one can cause this scene. Zhuanyangzong head teacher sighed. The world of great competition is coming, and it is indeed a blessing that my Xianyang sect has produced a talented person. The old man thinks so too. Elder Xia nodded. He agreed with teacher head's opinion. It was rare for him to be able to defeat foreign demons among his peers. Not to mention, defeat 3 in one go. The head teacher called Li Sun a genius, which, in Xia Elder's view, was not too much. The only pity is, such an amazing and talented disciple is not his own disciple. Thanks, Elder. You should inform Elder Qin and let him hide around Li Sun from today, before Li Sun breaks through to the realm of life and death. Li Sun's safety is left to him. Zhuanyangzong head teacher said plainly. Yes. Xia Elder froze in his heart and said respectfully. From what head teacher said just now, he already understood that head teacher wanted to train Li Sun as the future successor of Xianyang sect. After all, even the apprentices of the head teacher don't have the elder to protect this kind of treatment. Time flies. More than a month later, Li Sun lotus position sat on the couch and slowly opened his eyes. At the moment when he opened his eyes, the world trembled, and his body, which was as crystal clear as jade, flickered with precious light and burst out with an aura that was extremely powerful. The Ziwei Tian Luo Sutra is indeed extraordinary, Li Sun muttered to himself. He stood up and glanced at the blood essence stone that had turned into powder in the room. This month. Initial. It took him 20 days to replace the original Purple Sun Heaven technique with the Purple Myrtle Heaven compass, and for the next 10 days, he was absorbing spiritual qi from the blood essence stone. Just 10 days. He has consumed more than 3,000 blood essence stones. More than 3,000 blood essence stones have increased my strength by a few points, but I just don't know how strong my body is now. Li Sun thought so in his heart. He flipped his palm. A long sword flashing with cold light appeared in his hand. Without any hesitation, he slashed towards the other hand. Clang! A sound of gold and iron symphony came. Li Sun raised his left hand and glanced at it. There was only a white mark on the palm, and it was rapidly fading. So strong! Li Sun was amazed. He didn't use any real energy just now, and he didn't use the golden body art. The current me, even if I stand still, I am afraid that many people at the same level will not be able to break my defense. He didn't use all his strength just now. But even so, it was comparable to that of the weaker, profound core realm powerhouses who had made all-out efforts. After all, he has innate divine power and has also used Tianqin stone milk and blood essence stone to strengthen his power. It's not enough to defend against tyranny, the main thing is recovery speed. Li Sun thought about the terrifying ability to regenerate from a drop of blood from a foreign demon before. He gritted his teeth, the strength in his hand increased a bit, and he continued to slash towards his left hand. Crack. Shit. 35. Crisp came. The low-grade magical item longsword in his hand was instantly broken into 2 sections. Fortunately, at the last moment, this longsword completed his mission. On the left hand, a 2-inch long wound was left. But this wound healed quickly at a speed visible to the naked eye without waiting for the blood to flow out. In just 3 breaths, the left hand was restored to its original state. Li Sun flipped through his palms, but he couldn't find any traces. Now, I should have the ability to regenerate amputated limbs, right? Li Sun speculated in his heart. He wanted to test it out, but after thinking about it for a while, he gave up the idea. If it is possible to regenerate a severed limb, everyone will naturally be happy, but if it cannot be regenerated from a severed limb, then there will be nowhere to cry. 1 less arm for his strength, but weakened more than 1 layer. It's time to cultivate the Daoist divine art. Li Sun waved his sleeves gently, and a gust of wind swept across the house, sweeping all the blood essence stone powder out of the house, and then he took out the enlightenment pill. I plan to start cultivating Daoist divine art. But just when cultivation is about to begin. Outside the hospital. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. Senior brother Hanfeng, please see brother Li Sun. Korean style? Li Sun thought about it for a while, and seemed to have no impression of this person. He put away the enlightenment pill, got up, walked to the courtyard gate, and opened the door. Outside the door, Hanfeng, who was wearing the costume of inner disciple, hurriedly saluted Li Sun after seeing Li Sun, and said, I have seen senior brother Li Sun. Don't be too polite. 35. Li Sun said calmly, what's the matter with you coming here today? Junior brother came here on the order of Xia Elder. In the first place, it was to give the senior brother the reward of slaying demons and slaying demons before. The second time, it is to inform the senior brother that today is the day to register as a core disciple, and please don't miss the time. 5. Talking. Hanfeng handed over a storage ring. Junior brother Lao made a trip in person. Li Sun took the storage ring and said with a smile. At the same time, his divine sense came out and glanced at the inside of the storage ring. There were only 1,000 top-grade spirit stones and 3 bottles of medicine pill. Things were as he thought, and the big reward was the prefecture-level mid-grade cultivation technique. Right now, this reward is just a consolation prize. This is what the younger brother should do. Hanfeng said respectfully. He gave Li Sun a respectful look and secretly thought in his heart, Senior brother Li Sun is just like the rumors. He treats people gently and without any pretense. Over the past month, Li Sun has been immersed in cultivation all the time. What he didn't know was that the entire Xianyang sect was completely boiling. And the reason for the boiling is on him. Seeking flowers. After experiencing the arrival of the demon a month ago, many inner disciples have become his die-hard followers, and I don't know how many people regard him as a god. The Hanfeng in front of him is no exception. Although he is not a survivor of the intersect trial, he has become more familiar and naturally assimilated. Senior brother, can you sign up for the core disciple assessment? Hanfeng asked. Li Sun thought for a while, then nodded and said, that's the idea. Becoming a core disciple is not the same as being an inner disciple. If you want to become an inner disciple, you can become an inner disciple at any time, as long as you break through the primordial Qi realm, and then go to the assessment hall to pass the assessment. But it is not so easy to become a core disciple. The core disciple assessment requires competition, and there is only one chance every year. If you miss this year, you can only wait for the next year. Moreover, no matter how many people sign up, only the top 3 can become core disciples each time. It can be said, becoming a core disciple is the most introverted member of the Xianyang sect. Because the inner disciple will not be expelled from the sect at all, Many people will choose to participate in the core disciple competition only after they are strong enough. Under normal circumstances, the strength of the late stage of Lingyunjing has a high probability of becoming a core disciple. However, as many disciples turned inward to each other, the threshold of the late stage of the spiritual contained realm was forced into the profound core realm. But even in the profound core realm, it is not very safe. In the end, it depends on the strength of those who sign up every year. In some years, there may be several inner disciples of the profound core realm to sign up together. Also a possibility. In a certain year, no inner disciple broke through the mysterious core realm. This year, as far as Li Sun knew, it seemed that in addition to himself, there were several inner disciples of the profound core realm. After all, when encountering demons outside the realm, he clearly remembered that there were 2 inner disciples of the profound core realm who were arrested and tied to a post. Not surprisingly, those 2 should be their own opponents this year. However, he wasn't worried. With his current strength in the middle stage of the profound core realm, there should be no inner disciple who would be able to get over him. Senior brother, come with me, and I will take you to the place where you signed up. Hanfeng's eyes lit up and said quickly. Also ask junior brother to lead the way, Li Sun said with demonstration peak. Halfway up the mountain, in an empty square. This is the place to register as a core disciple. At the same time, it is also a place to be a core disciple. Under normal circumstances, on the day of registration, there will not be many people here. After all, the competition has not yet started. Even if they come here, they will not see the excitement at all. But today is different. Li Sun and Han Feng walked from a distance, and before they got close, they saw a group of inner disciples crowded into the registration area. Let's go, brother Li Sun is here. There is still a little distance away, Han Feng shouted aloud. It's really brother Li Sun. 99. I knew senior brother Li Sun. He would definitely not miss this year's core disciple competition. With senior brother Li Sun's strength, he must be the first core disciple this year. There is no doubt about it. The others only need to compete for the second place. Have you noticed that April 17th, brother Li Sun's strength seems to have become stronger again? I feel a huge pressure from being so far away. Hey, when you say that, it seems to be true. 99. Not far away, many people gathered around and whispered, looking at Li Sun with awe and admiration in their eyes. Among them there were many young disciples with peach blossoms in their eyes. Among them, some people are inner disciples who were rescued by Li Sun. There is also a person, purely because Li Sun is too famous during this period and wants to see the true face of Li Sun's Mount Lu. As Li Sun gets closer, the inner disciple, who originally formed a group, made way for Li Sun. Han Feng was leading the way, his face was rather proud. Throughout the entire inner sect, there were few who could walk so close to Li Sun as he was. This kind of thing will be the capital of one's own boasting in the future. Senior brother, please register. Brother Li Sun will take the core disciple assessment tomorrow. 35. When he came to a jade table, Han Feng said. Behind the jade table, it was an inner disciple. After seeing Li Sun approaching, he quickly stood up and said with a smile on his face, Brother Li Sun, I have already registered your information for you. This is your number plate. With this number plate tomorrow, you can participate in the competition. Talking. The disciple handed over a palm-sized jade plaque with a striking word written on it. Li Sun took the jade card, took a glance out of the corner of his eye, glanced at the roster spread on the table, and found that his own name came first. And behind him, there are more than 10 names. Emotion. Does this mean that the disciple in front of him has already registered himself before he even came? Thank you, junior brother. 35. Li Sun said with a smile. Senior brother is too polite. This is what a junior brother should do, and more than a month ago, if there was no senior brother, the junior brother's life would not have been saved. The inner disciple continued respectfully. Furthermore, the apprentice brother later gave the apprentice a medicine pill for healing his wounds. Such a great kindness and great virtue. The apprentice classmate will never forget it. It is an honor to be able to do something for my brother. 99. Li Sun glanced at the man. Keep his face in mind. After experiencing the extraterritorial demon, even he himself does not know how much influence he has in Xianyang sect. Maybe not yet, but after waiting for decades, or hundreds of years, these inner disciples will grow up. The entire Xianyang sect, I am afraid, will become his one-word hall. Senior brother, your first opponent tomorrow is a late-stage senior brother. I don't know what you think, senior brother? If you are not satisfied. The inner disciple had a pleasing smile on his face. At the same time, he picked up a writing brush in his hand. As long as Brother Li Sun spoke, there were more than a dozen people here, and Brother Li Sun could choose whatever he wanted. Careful. Li Sun took a deep look at the junior brother, reached out and patted his shoulder, then turned and left. Just as he turned around, buzz. A heavy pressure passed from a distance. In the eyes of countless people, there seems to be a majestic mountain, surrounded by sword and tent, rising slowly from the end of the horizon. Tread, tread, tread. The crisp footsteps reached everyone's ears. On the steps at the end of the square, a burly figure, carrying a giant sword, strode up, his eyes full of wildness and ruthlessness. The majestic body is flowing with divine light, and the strength of the late stage of the profound core realm is almost without any cover, so let it go, and in an instant, it suppresses all the inner disciples in the square. Zhao Heng. I don't know which inner disciple, said something in a deep voice. Who is Zhao Heng? There are many people who have not heard the name Zhao Heng very much, but those who know Zhao Heng almost turned pale when they saw him, as if remembering something bad. Zhao Heng is Bai Xiaowei's backstage, and he has the same people as Bai Xiaowei, and there are many others. It can be said that the spirit stones that Bai Xiaowei and others squeezed from the outer sect disciples finally flowed into Zhao Heng's hands. An inner disciple whispered. As soon as these words came out, many people's expressions changed. There were all inner disciples present, and everyone came step by step from the outer sect disciples. Maybe they had never met Bai Xiaowei. But I have met people like Bai Xiaowei. And a large part of these people were instructed by Zhao Heng. This is also considered to be indirectly bullied by Zhao Heng. I heard that senior brother Li Sun had a grudge with Bai Xiaowei, and Bai Xiaowei was sheltered by Zhao Heng, so... Many people took a deep breath and looked at Zhao Heng solemnly. If there is no accident, Zhao Heng came here so flamboyantly today, I am afraid that he is coming to avenge Bai Xiaowei. After all, he has a lot of younger brothers. Bai Xiaowei was abolished, and he didn't know who killed him in the end. If he doesn't ask for an explanation, I'm afraid the people under him will have complaints. Logically speaking, the first person he was looking for was Liu Changhe. It's a pity that Liu Changhe hasn't climbed the mountain since he entered the law enforcement hall, so he had no choice but to find Li Sun first. Zhao Heng has been an inner disciple for 190 years. He does more than 30 teacher-student assignments every year. I heard about the bare earth cultivation technique, and he has already exchanged 3.5 copies. 99. Someone else said worriedly. 190 years of being an inner disciple is already an exaggerated number of years. The profound core stage is only 400 years of life, which means Zhao Heng has spent half his life in the inner sect. Every year, he does more than 30 division sect tasks, which is more than twice the amount stipulated by the Xianyang sect. The foundation accumulated over such a long time, just thinking about it makes the scalp tingle. Many core disciples are only one local-level cultivation technique, but Zhao Heng, as an inner disciple, obtained 2 local-level cultivation techniques by doing the task of being a teacher. To a certain extent, his background has surpassed many core disciples. It is precisely because of this that as soon as he appeared, many people's hearts were suddenly lifted. Brother Li Sun, I'm afraid it's dangerous this time. This Zhao Heng is not a good person. Many people think so in their hearts. Boom. A loud bang. Zhao Heng came to Li Sun. His footsteps were very heavy, and he stepped on the floor tiles under his feet and cracked. The thick qi and blood surged vertically and horizontally, setting off a gust of wind. Zuandanjing middle stage? He looked Li Sun up and down, and deep in his eyes, a trace of contempt flashed, and he said indifferently, it seems that the 3-headed demons, that's all. As soon as this word comes out, many people around were suddenly angry. On the surface, Zhao Heng was mocking Li Sun, but in fact, he fired a map cannon and mocked all the people who participated in the trial that day. 99. Beside, an inner disciple was so angry that he stepped forward and wanted to scold Zhao Heng. But he was stopped by Li Sun. Are you here to sign up? Li Sun's complexion was dull, and he could not see any change. Good. The corners of Zhao Heng's mouth twitched, revealing a stern smile, and said, I originally thought that someone who can defeat the three-headed foreign demons should not be weak. 35. But when I saw it today, I was greatly disappointed. 35. If you want to avenge by Xiaowei, you don't need so many excuses. 55. 13. Li Sun turned his head, looked at the disciple who was not far behind, who was in charge of naming, and said, Excuse me, junior brother, replace my first opponent tomorrow with him. Hear this. The others haven't reacted yet, but Zhao Heng's complexion suddenly changed. He has been in the inner sect for almost 200 years, and he knows the rules of the core disciple assessment. In general, every year, more than a dozen inner disciples sign up. If someone loses in the first game, it means saying goodbye to this year's core disciple status. After all, ranked from the bottom, no matter how high the cultivation base is, it is impossible to become a core disciple. Therefore, many people, when registering, will try to bribe the disciple in charge of registration to let him arrange a weaker opponent for himself the next day. But Li Sun is different today. He will fight against Zhao Heng as soon as he comes up. This means that the two of them can only have one this year, and they can become core disciples. Well. Zhao Heng's face was ugly, and he struggled to squeeze 3 words out of the gap between his teeth. He wanted to play against Li Sun, but he never thought that he would run into Li Sun as soon as he came up. Isn't he afraid that after the two fight, the vitality will be too much and others will take advantage of it? If you're afraid, it's too late for you to regret it now, Li Sun said casually. After changing the Ziwei Tian Luo Sutra, he was just about to find an opponent and let him test his current strength. He never thought that someone would come to his door so quickly. Moreover, Zhao Heng, who came to the door, is not too weak. The cultivation base of the profound core realm late stage should be able to hold up a trick or two, right? With this in mind, Li Sun didn't stay any longer and left here. After Li Sun left, the whole square was completely blasted. I heard it right just now. Brother Li Sun is going to play against Zhao Heng for the first time tomorrow. This Zhao Heng is over, but senior brother Li Sun has defeated 3 foreign demons, and his strength is extremely terrifying. What if Zhao Heng has a prefecture-level cultivation technique? I remember senior brother Li Sun because he saved many inner disciples, but he was also awarded a prefecture-level cultivation technique. This Zhao Heng is asking for trouble, so what if he is a little higher than senior brother Li Sun? It can't be said that Zhao Heng has been cultivating for nearly 200 years, and senior Li Sun has only entered for 2 years. The gap between the two is 100 times. It is still a little difficult for senior Li Sun to win against Zhao Heng. The division of junior and senior teachers is small, and the strength of the cultivation does not depend on the length of cultivation time. Look at Zhao Heng, who doesn't move. Shouldn't he be afraid to sign up? After all, he can't become a core disciple, but if he loses to senior brother Li Sun, it will be a big deal. Listen to the discussion next to you. Zhao Heng's face was ashen, just as those inner disciples said. He can't become a core disciple this year, and it doesn't matter to him. After all, the strength is here, and the big deal is that he will come again next year. But the problem is, if he really lost to Li Sun, he would be embarrassed. Others have only cultivated for 2 years, and I have been cultivating for nearly 200 years. With such a big gap, I can't beat it. How can I stay in Xianyang sect in the future? Zhao Heng, do you want to sign up? The inner disciple in charge of registration said indifferently. Although his strength is not as good as Zhao Heng, he is not afraid of each other at all. After all, the two of them are still equal now, and everyone is an inner disciple. When I'm in a good mood, I call you senior brother, but when I'm in a bad mood, I don't even bother to say hello when I meet you. Report. Zhao Heng gritted his teeth, glanced at the direction Li Sun was leaving, and said in a deep voice, This is your number plate. 35. The inner disciple who was in charge of registration quickly completed the registration and then handed a token with the number 16 to Zhao Heng. Humph. Zhao Heng snorted coldly, reached out to take the number plate, and quickly turned to leave. Originally, his plan was to give Li Sun a dismount before the competition, but what he didn't expect was that the dismount didn't stay for the opponent. And he lost himself. He would not naively think that the person who can defeat the three-headed demon is really weak. The reason why he said this before was just to anger Li Sun. After all, an irrational person is the easiest to defeat. The current situation is diametrically opposite to what he thought. He has become a difficult person to ride a tiger. If he can't defeat Li Sun in 417 tomorrow, I am afraid that he will become the laughingstock of the entire Xianyang sect. Li Sun is only the middle stage of the profound pill realm, and I am the late stage of the profound pill realm. The gap is a small realm. Even if Li Sun is a genius, he may not be my opponent. 35. Zhao Heng comforted himself in his heart. Soon, a day passed. The next day, as the sky brightened, the entire Zhengdao Peak was already crowded with people, not only the inner disciple, but also many outer sect disciples. After all, Li Sun has only been an inner disciple for a few months. In such a short period of time, he has completed the 2-level jump, and he is about to become a core disciple from an outer sect disciple. With this speed alone, he has almost become a legend in the minds of all outer sect disciples. In the crowd, Lu Changhe was standing there, wearing a white robe and the costume of the law enforcement hall, looking at the competition stage not far away. His expression was a bit complicated. He had already heard what happened yesterday. The first game today is senior brother Li Sun facing Du Heng. The reason for this, in Lu Changhe's view, is largely because of his actions that day. I wanted to solve the trouble for senior brother Li Sun, but I didn't think about it, but caused a lot of trouble for senior brother Li Sun. If it was senior brother Li Sun, I would not be able to become a core disciple. Lu Changhe's face was a little pale, and he didn't dare to think about it any longer. When many disciples were talking about it, on a high platform, swish, all of a sudden, there was an elder in purple clothes. After he appeared, he pressed down with one hand, and the entire Zhengdao Peak became silent in an instant. This year's core disciple competition, start now. The rules are the same as in previous years. During the test, until the point is reached, neither side can make a killer. The one who falls on the high platform first will lose. The first match. Li Sun to Zhao Heng. Done. Elder Zi did not leave the high platform, but stood on the edge of the high platform. After all, in previous years, when many disciples tried their best to make a move, it was easy to fail to keep their hands and cause people to die. At this time, the value of an elder standing nearby was reflected. Come on, come on. In the past, the finale of the competition appeared for the first time this year, which is really exciting. Then Zhao Heng is finished. Yesterday, he had to provoke senior brother Li Sun. Today we will see how he ends. A mediocre person who has been cultivating for nearly 200 years before reaching the late stage of the Xiandan realm dares to provoke a genius who has cultivated to the middle stage of the Xiandan realm for 2 years. Do you really think that genius is just cultivation speed? Speaking of which, although senior brother Li Sun is a genius, isn't it too irrational to face Zhao Heng in the first match? Even if he wins in the end, his vitality will be greatly damaged. In this way, will other senior brothers take a big advantage? Brother Li Sun, since he dares to face Zhao Heng for the first time, he must have his confidence. Around the platform. At this time, the disciples of Xianyang sect were already surrounded. Everyone is looking forward to it. 99% of this group of disciples are supporters of Li Sun. The reason for this is that Li Sun's reputation in the past is too good. On the other hand, Zhao Heng is almost infamous. Boom. 35. At this time, the entire high platform suddenly shook, and a majestic figure descended from the sky and landed in the center of the high platform. Where's Li Sun? Zhao Heng opened his mouth, his eyes staring. There was a kind of publicity and domineering. After cultivating for nearly 200 years, he didn't take any rumors to heart, and even had some expectations that he would defeat Li Xin later. What will the other people look like then? I've already arrived. A faint voice came from behind. Zhao Heng suddenly turned around. His face was extremely ugly. He was still provocative just now, but his opponent had come behind him and didn't know it. If Li Xin shot just now, he is now defeated. Because of the poor performance just now, there was a burst of laughter from the audience. The laughter came into Zhao Heng's ears, making him look extremely ugly. He didn't think that Li Xin just didn't take action just to give him a chance. On the contrary, in his view, it is more like a humiliation. You piss me off. Zhao Heng took a step back and took a deep breath. The giant sword behind him crashed to the ground with a loud bang, and a dazzling divine light burst out from it, reaching a length of more than 10 meters. The boundless killing intent on the great sword made people shudder. It was hard to imagine that such a terrifying killing intent would emerge from a single sword. I don't know how many people Zhao Heng had killed to form such a powerful force. Seeing this sword, even Elder Z, who was next to him, could not help frowning. Kill. A loud drink. Zhao Heng smashed the high platform with one foot, turned into a stream of light, and quickly rushed towards Li Xin. The violent momentum swept out, like a piece of Wang Yang, surging on the high platform. Murderous lingering clouds made the world tremble, and the infinite sword ray gathered together to form a beam of light that pierced the sky, shattering the void and slashing towards Li Xin. It's almost as sharp as a smash, which makes many people tremble with fear. Master. Senior brother Li Xin, can you beat this Zhao Heng? Seeing the power of Zhao Heng's shot, even Yi Han felt terrified for a while, and he quickly asked in his mind. The victory is decided. The old voice replied lightly. His voice just fell. Li Xin, who was originally standing calmly and with a calm demeanor, suddenly took a step forward, his shirt fluttered, and without any extra movement, he punched out at will. Just a simple punch. However, it contained billions of gigantic power, and the blood suddenly exploded, condensed into a heavenly dragon, wrapped around Li Xin's arm, and rushed out roaring. Boom. 35. A loud bang. The heavenly dragon, which was condensed from qi and blood, collided with the heaven-piercing sword pillar, making a deafening roar. Sword ray flew and turned into a sea of swords. The terrifying storm drowned everything, swept in all directions, and destroyed all obstacles. Even in the past 10,000 years, after countless trials, the sturdy high platform, under this kind of power, has appeared countless cracks. It looks crumbling, and it seems that it will collapse at any time. What's the result? Who won? There are rays everywhere, I can't see anything. 35. When many people stretched their necks and were curious about the results on the high platform, with a bang, a tattered figure fell from the high platform. Numerous disciples quickly gathered around to take a look. But just such a glance made many people take a deep breath. Zhao Heng, who was originally very public, now has no intact place on his body. The giant sword in his hand had disappeared, only a hilt remained, and his chest was even dented by the beating, and I don't know how many bones were shattered. This. Countless people have numbskulls. They thought that senior brother Li Xin would win, and they also thought that Zhao Heng would lose, but what they didn't expect was that senior brother Li Xin would win so neatly. I didn't expect that Zhao Heng would be defeated like this. It seemed that the weapons he had been refining for many years were completely shattered. Elder, can we announce the result? On the high platform, Li Xin said calmly. Oh yes. 99. Elder Z took a deep look at Li Xin and quickly recovered from the shock. In his mind now, there are only 6 words left for Li Xin's evaluation. This guy is so scary. With just one punch, he defeated an existence that was a small realm taller than him, and he seemed to be able to handle it with ease. Cough. Elder Z came to the middle of the high platform again. He coughed lightly and said slowly, in the first match, Li Xin won. Brotherly mighty price. In the inner disciple, someone shouted aloud. Li Xin's punch can be regarded as a mouthful of depression for them for many years. After all, Many disciples have been bullied by Zhaoheng or Zhaoheng's subordinates. They could not offend Zhaoheng, but they saw that Li Sun defeated Zhaoheng so neatly today. It still made them extremely excited, as if he had defeated Zhaoheng. A time. Under the entire high stage, countless disciples were all boiling. Next, Li Sun's test was much easier. In almost every game, as soon as he came to power, his opponent conceded defeat. Until the last game. A junior brother of the early stage of the Xiandan realm, with the attitude of trying it out, played against Li Sun, and then the result was no surprise. He was still defeated by one move. So far, Li Sun won the title of #1 in this year's competition. At the same time, also obtained the status of core disciple. At this time, Elder Z, who was beside him, strode over with a smile on his face. He smiled and said, "Congratulations to Senior Nephew Li. Nephew Li's core disciple clothes, as well as the identity badge, have been placed in the Great Hall at the rear, and Nephew Li can pick it up at any time." "Thank you, Elder." Li Sun cupped his hands and stepped off the platform. In the eyes of countless worship and respect, he entered the Great Hall behind the square. After entering the Great Hall, a tall figure with gray hair and a figure in elder costume caught his attention. "Thank you, Elder." Li Sun confirmed it. He was very familiar with this figure. It was Elder Xia who killed tens of thousands of demons that day. At this time, Li Sun has some doubts in his heart. It stands to reason that Elder Xia is not responsible for the core disciple competition. He appears here today, and it seems a little wrong no matter how he looks at it. Could it be that he came to accept himself as a disciple? In the Xianeng sect, there have always been rules. After becoming a core disciple, you can choose an elder to be a teacher. Of course, elders, you can also choose your favorite core disciple and accept it as your own disciple. Once the core disciple successfully worships the elder as his teacher, then his status will automatically change from core disciple to true disciple. There is no difference in treatment between core disciples and true disciples. The only difference is that one has a master and the other does not. If he didn't have a system, Li Sun would probably take this Elder Xia as his teacher without saying a word, but the problem was that he had a system in him. And the cultivation technique he cultivated at this time is no longer a prefecture level, but a genuine heaven level. He didn't think that Elder Xia, who was in front of him, could give him advice on cultivation. Instead of being a teacher, let the master doubt life every day. It is better to cultivate by yourself and come here at ease. Nephew Li. Elder Xia turned around, looked Li Sun up and down, and said with admiration, "In just a few months, I have gone from inner disciple to core disciple. This cultivation speed, since the establishment of Xianeng sect, you are still the first. This is all cultivated by the teacher." Li Sun temporarily pressed his doubts and said softly, "Haha, 35. Xia Elder smiled heartily, and he shook his head and said, "This old man can't agree with what you said. The old man knows what kind of genius the Xianyang sect can cultivate." 99. When you entered the door just now, you were stunned for a moment, but thought that the old man came today to accept you as a disciple. Said last. Elder Xia looked at Li Sun with a deep meaning, and there was some hope and some helplessness in his eyes. If Li Sun really wanted to take him as his teacher, it would be the most honorable thing in his life. After all, he was a core disciple in just a few months. If the cultivation continues at this speed, what will be the scene 10 years from now? However, Elder Xia knew that with his own strength, he might not be able to teach Li Sun, so his eyes were very complicated, and he was surprised after seeing the genius. After seeing the genius again, I suddenly discovered the helplessness when I couldn't teach at all. Thank you, Elder, for your smart eyes. The disciples did think so just now. Li Sun nodded. Xia Elder tentatively opened his mouth and wanted to ask, but before he finished speaking, he suddenly laughed at himself, waved his hand and said, "This old man still doesn't blame himself." 39. A few days ago, even the head teacher personally said that even if he accepts you as his apprentice, there is not much he can teach you. If the old man accepts you as his apprentice, I am afraid it will only delay your future. Xia Elder is too modest with your strength. Even teaching a young great emperor is not too much, BDF. Hearing Elder Xia say this, Li Sun breathed a sigh of relief. Haha. Xia Elder laughed again. He patted Li Sun on the shoulder and said, I didn't expect junior nephew Li to be so smooth. Before, this old man thought you were like other geniuses, and you have always been very arrogant. I won't say more nonsense, old man. The smile faded, Elder Xia's face became solemn, and he said solemnly, This old man is here today. There are 2 things in total. Talking. He turned his palm over, and a tray appeared in the palm of his hand, with a lavender shirt and 2 jade plaques on it. Elder Xia brought it to Li Sun, and continued, The first thing is to bring you the core disciple's clothes, as well as the identity jade card and the soul jade card. Thank you, Elder. 39. Li Sun cupped hands said. Clothes and identity jade badge, I won't say much about it, it's the same as inner disciple, but the soul jade badge requires you to separate out a ray of spiritual thought and attach it to it. Xia Elder picked up the soul jade card and explained, Every core disciple is the humerus of the Xianyang sect, and there is no room for loss. You attach your spiritual sense to it, and if something happens to you in the future, the Xianyang sect will be the first. No, for a while. The disciple understands. Li Sun nodded and immediately separated a thought, which penetrated into the soul jade. This jade tablet, in his opinion, is actually not very useful, because when the jade tablet is broken, it means that the person has died, and what Xianyang sect can do at that time is only revenge. For the dead, it means nothing at all. It is more useful to send 2 life-saving whole cards. Elder Xia didn't know what Li Sun was thinking. When he saw that Li Sun had put a ray of thought into the soul jade card, he nodded with satisfaction and stretched out his hand to take the soul jade card back. The second thing. After putting away the soul jade card, Elder Xia said, Sect needs you to go to Zentianqing. Zentianqing. Li Sun was extremely surprised and couldn't help but look up at Elder Xia, with a hint of doubt in the bottom of his eyes. Why is it so? Mainly because Zhentian City also has a name, that is the Great Zhou Imperial City. The Xianyang sect ruled only a few 100,000 li in a radius, but compared with the Great Zhou dynasty, which ruled tens of millions of li, it was too different. In the territory of the Great Zhou dynasty, there were almost a dozen or so forces like the Xianyang sect. Among the dozen or so, there are 3 or 4 forces that are even stronger than the Xianyang sect. Good. Xia Elder saw Li Sun's doubts and explained, A few days ago, the Great Zhou Divine Emperor issued an edict to invite all the geniuses under the age of 25 in the Great Zhou territory who have cultivated to the middle stage of the primordial Qi realm. Go to Zhentian City for a test. The top 300 in the competition can enter the Yuan Wang secret realm. If you can be under the age of 25, you can cultivate to the level of Xian Dan or above. Speaking of this, Elder Xia's eyes fell on Li Sun's face, and he said slowly, You can be exempted from the competition and directly get a qualification to enter the secret realm. Oh. Li Sun's eyes lit up. Above the profound core realm, one can directly obtain a qualification. Doesn't that mean, don't you have to test yourself? This is a good thing, at least I saved a lot of effort. Head teacher means that this time we will go to Zhentian City, you will lead the team, and the old man will accompany you to protect your safety. Xia Elder said slowly. After all, in the entire Xianyang sect, under the age of 25, you are the strongest. Once you enter the Yuan Wang secret realm, if you have time, you'd better take care of the other inner disciples. 5. Speaking of the last sentence, Xia Elder's voice was extremely solemn. This time, the Great Zhou Divine Sovereign issued a decree, and almost all the forces in the entire Great Zhou dynasty would flock to them. At that time, the genius was like a crucian carp crossing the river. Li Sun may be able to handle them with ease, but others may not. Xianyang sect has just experienced the extraterritorial demon incident, and at this juncture, it can no longer withstand any blows if it is the fall of part of the inner disciple. Then Zhuaniangzong is afraid that it will be really green and yellow. Elder, rest assured, Li Sun will do his best not to disappoint Elder and head teacher. Li Sun took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "It is good." Elder Xia nodded with satisfaction and said with relief, "With your words, that's enough." Li Sun's strength, he is very relieved. Looking at the entire Great Zhou dynasty, all the forces, it is estimated that few people can match him. Even if those princes in the Great Zhou dynasty may not necessarily be Li Sun's opponents. With his help, Xianyang's sect might be able to lose a few disciples. As for one immortal, he never thought about it. After all, how can there be a free lunch in the world? It is almost impossible to take advantage of it alone and not die. Once you enter the Yuan Wang's secret realm, you will no longer have any secular constraints. Whether you can get benefits and survive, it all depends on your good fortune. Take a good rest for the past 2 days. Sect also needs to finalize other candidates to go to Yuan Wang's secret realm. I will let you know when we leave. Xia, elder said with a smile. Then the disciple will retire first. Li Sun cupped hands saluted, then turned to leave. At the same time, Zhuanyangzong is 100,000 miles away, in an ancient ruin. Here, spiritual qi is rich to the extreme. As far as the eye can see, there are clouds and mists everywhere. In the depths of the clouds and mists, Qianglu and Yuyu are looming, like a fairyland on earth. Logically speaking, in such a treasure land, there should be a terrifying supreme force. AJ, this place is very quiet, there is no noise, and the quiet is creepy. It seems that under this quiet and peaceful surface, there is a huge horror hidden, making this place a Jedi, and no one dares to set foot on it. At this time, a mysterious wave came. Deep in the mist, myriad divine lights burst forth, and the sky descended into auspicious colors, turning this place into a splendid ocean with heavy waves. Among them, a real dragon soared into the sky, stretching across the sky, and a white tiger stepped on the ground and roared in the sky. I don't know how long it lasted. The brilliance gradually subsided, and there was a hazy figure in the middle, like the moonlight covering the body, like the fairy flowers spitting the core. The whole person seemed real and illusory, and it was not real. But even so, she still gave people a flawless feeling. The pinnacle of the spiritual realm. A cold voice spoke. She has a graceful body, slender and colorful, and is shrouded in divine light, as if she is sitting in the vast cold palace, holy and far away. If Li Sun is here, you will definitely recognize that this is not Qin Shui who separated from him from the chance of saint. The current Qin Shui has undergone earth-shaking changes. In just over a month, he has rushed from the late stage of the primordial Qi realm to the peak of the spiritual accumulation realm. This cultivation speed is beyond the understanding of ordinary people. Even Yihan had to be resigned. The blood of the true dragon and the blood of the white tiger have already been obtained, but the blood of vermilion bird and the blood of black tortoise are still missing in order to condense the body of a fairy. Qin Shui frowned slightly, her crystal-clear eyes revealing the color of thought. Last life. She relied on the body of the fairy, and later came to the top, surpassing countless geniuses at once, thus standing at the peak of this world. It can be said, the body of the fairy is the key to her rise. But the problem is, this kind of physique is generally not present at birth, and will not be present in the future. Qin Shui's last life was also by chance, and obtained a secret method, which could use the blood of 4 divine beasts as a guide to forge the foundation of the body of the fairy. In the last life, she didn't find the real blood of the 4 divine beasts, and could only replace it with some demonic beast's blood essence that contained the blood of the beasts. Although she finally became a fairy body. But there are too many detours. If those detours are removed, her rise will be faster and more unstoppable. With the experience of the previous life, she started very smoothly in this life. She has already obtained the blood of 2 divine beasts. Although it is not blood essence, it is much stronger than the blood of ordinary demonic beasts. If I remember correctly, in more than a month, the Yuan Wang's secret realm of the Great Zhou dynasty will be opened. And in the secret realm, there seems to be the blood of vermilion bird. 5. Qin Shui calculated in her heart. Her current strength has reached the pinnacle of the spiritual realm. Although she has not obtained the body of the fairy, she can obtain the blood of the true dragon and the blood of the white tiger. Her physique has undergone earth-shaking changes, and she can definitely be regarded as a top genius. Ordinary profound core realm powerhouses would not be her opponents at all. Not to mention, she will also be in formation. Once she is asked to set up a killing formation, she is confident that she can single-handedly take on more than a dozen profound core realm experts. If you want to enter the Yuan Wang secret realm, it is a lot of trouble. If there is a sect as the background, it would be better to say something, but if it is a rogue cultivators. Qin Shui's mouth pursed slightly, and there was some sadness on her pretty face. Her current situation, without a doubt, belongs to the ranks of rogue cultivators, although there is a Qin family behind her, but the Qin family is too weak. Nothing helps her. Even if the great Zhou Divine Emperor issued an edict to summon Tianjiao, it would not be issued to the Qin family, because their Qin family does not have that qualification at all. In this case, if you want to enter the Yuan Wang secret realm, you can only rely on your own means. At this time, it is almost impossible to join a sect. The only feasible option is to get close to the third princess in the Great Zhou dynasty. Qin Shui thought of some things that happened in the Great Zhou dynasty in her previous life. The contemporary Great Zhou divine sovereign, whose strength is very terrifying, is only a thin line away from saint. In the 2,000 years he has been in power, he has many children under his knees. If the most outstanding ones are the eldest prince and the third princess. Both of them are outstanding people for a while, and they have achieved great prestige in the future. If they join the line of Princess Wednesday, perhaps entering the Yuan Wang secret realm, it will not be a problem. The real identity of the third princess of the Great Zhou dynasty is the holy maiden of the Xingyue demon sect. This secret should not have been exposed. If I use some conditions to exchange with them, I should be able to exchange for a place to enter the secret realm. Qin Shui knew that at this stage, it should be the stage where the third princess and the eldest prince were wrestling with each other. On the surface, the eldest prince has already overwhelmed the third princess, but in fact, the third princess has the support of the Xingyue demon sect behind the third princess and has not suffered much. In this situation, it was not until 100 years later that the identity of the third princess was revealed to be the holy maiden of the Xingyue demon sect, and the eldest prince became the eldest prince of Zhou with an overwhelming advantage. Later, he became the new emperor of the Great Zhou dynasty. After he came to power, the eldest prince, all his ambitions exploded. He suppressed sect internally, expanded territory externally, and even nearly wiped out the kingdom of the Great Chu dynasty next to him. The surprising result is, at the last moment of the Great Chu, April 17th suddenly popped up an empress. As soon as the empress appeared, she showed a high talent and the strength to look down on all living beings. She personally took action, directly turned the tide and the fall, helped the general of the summer, and led the army of millions of generals, the Big Zhou, pushed to the bottom of Zhangtian City. Later things. Qin Shui is not particularly clear, because at that time, in order to perfect the body of the fairy, she had already left the Great Zhou territory and went to a farther place. But even these are enough for her. After all, the matter between Da Zhou and Da Chu in the future has nothing to do with her. She just needs a drop of vermilion bird blood right now. The third princess should be at the peak of the supernatural power realm now, and is only a thin line away from the realm of life and death. If I help her become the realm of life and death, perhaps it will not be a problem to enter the Yuan Wang secret realm. 35. Qin Shui stood up. Her body was immortal. Her body was perfect. Her waist was slender, and she couldn't bear to hold it. She was standing on a platform at this time. Eyes swept around. Here is also a chance it is not yet the time of birth, but she came in early. It was in this that she got a drop of white tiger blood. In addition to white tiger blood, there are many good things here. For example, she remembered that there was a bottle of life and death elixir. The life and death pill is a medicine pill that can make people break through life and death, and each one can increase the chance of 3-layer breakthrough life and death. This kind of medicine pill is not comparable to Ling Yuan pill or psychic pill. It is priceless in the outside world. with such a medicine pill, in exchange for the qualification to enter the Yuan Wang's secret realm. Arguably, more than enough. The problem at the moment is that if you go to the third princess with the pill of life and death, although there is a possibility that you will get the qualification to enter the Yuan Wang's secret realm, but more likely it was murdered to steal treasures. After all, the third princess is not a good man and a woman. She is the holy maiden of the Xingyue demon sect. If she kills a stranger, she can also get a life and death pill. She must not have any psychological pressure. On the contrary, they will be happy. If you want to avoid this situation, you have to prepare a little more cards, at least to make the third princess dare not do anything to yourself. This chance is the site of the ancient puppet sect. I remember that when it appeared in the previous life, there seemed to be two puppets in the realm of life and death, which caused countless people to compete. If I can find those two puppets, I'll be more than enough to protect myself. Qin Shui glanced at a great hall, which was the only place he had never been to. If there was a complete puppet left, it must be in that great hall. If you meet him in the secret realm. A strange color appeared in Qin Shui's beautiful eyes. In her mind, she thought of the figure who sheltered herself in her arms in Saint's Chance, and her cheeks couldn't help but turn a little red. Last time, it was him who protected himself. This time, it will be replaced by himself to protect him. Thinking of meeting him again, Qin Shui's mouth couldn't help evoking a smile with his shocked eyes. She clearly remembered that at the time of separation, Li Sun was only at the peak of the spiritual realm, and it was not so easy for the peak of the spiritual realm to break through to the Xiandan realm. It is estimated that if there is no accident, Li Sun should still be walking in the same place, but he is not what he used to be, and his cultivation base is completely equal to him. With her current cultivation base and her previous life experience, she can completely defeat several profound core realms to join forces. Even if she didn't use formation, she didn't think she would lose against Li Sun a month ago, and she might even win. If the formation is used, Li Sun has no chance of winning. This is her confidence to live again. It happens that there are two puppets here. If I meet him in the Yuan Wang's secret realm, then I will give him one. Qin Shui thought so, and even her pace became a lot brisk. As for whether Li Sun will go to Yuan Wang's secret realm, she has never considered this. Li Sun did not go in the last life, but in this life, it is a bit difficult not to go. Because Li Sun's strength is at the pinnacle of the spiritual realm, even if he doesn't want to go, the Xianyang sect will let him go. After all, at the pinnacle of the Lingyun realm, there are probably not many young geniuses who can defeat the Xiandan realm. Just thought of. The two will meet again soon. Qin Shui is holding her chest with one hand, and for some reason, she suddenly feels a feeling now that she has never experienced in her previous life. It was a kind of heart beating faster. Indescribable, indescribable. Time flies. 2 days passed. In the Xianang sect, within these 2 days, an inner disciple competition was held. After 2 days of intense selection, finally, the top 50 disciples were selected. Among the 50, 30 were above the spiritual realm, 19 were at the peak of the primordial qi, and 1 was in the late stage of the primordial qi. And this person in the late stage of vitality realm is none other than Yi Han. He was originally in the middle stage of the vitality realm, but in the last competition, he suddenly made a breakthrough and finally joined the team going to Zhantian City with the strength of the late stage of the vitality realm. Buzz. A big sun rises in Xianyang sect. It was a low-grade flying spirit treasure with a shape like a disc. At this time, all the power was released and 10,000 rays of light shot out, making people dare not look directly. The 50 selected disciples all stood on the disc, all gearing up, with a look of anticipation on their faces. They all know that this time, they can discuss with all the geniuses in the entire Great Zhou territory. If he performed well, he might be rewarded by the Great Zhou royal family. The Great Zhou dynasty is not an ordinary force, and the things they rewarded are estimated to make countless people's eyes 3.5 hot. Front of the disc. Xia Elder stood with his hands behind his back, and he turned around and asked the disciple beside him, "Isn't nephew Li Sun here yet?" Brother Li Sun has just been notified, and it should be here soon. An inner disciple replied. His voice just fell. On the disc, a lavender figure gradually solidified, and no one saw how he appeared, as if he came out of the void. Shocking. Junior is late, so please don't blame Elder. After appearing, Li Sun immediately cupped his hands towards Elder Xia and said, I haven't seen you for 2 days, and my strength has improved again. Elder Xia glanced at Li Sun with satisfaction, then withdrew his gaze and said, Just come. Since everyone is ready, let's go. The voice fell. Boom. Like a scorching sun-like disk, it instantly tore apart the void, turned into a stream of light, and disappeared into the clouds. 20 days later. Town Tianqing. This city is very large, the city wall is as high as a kilometer, and it is very majestic. It has stood for an unknown number of years, and is full of vicissitudes. From a distance, it looks like an ancient beast, lying on the ground. Today's Jintian city is particularly lively. Many people know that there will be a big competition soon in Jintian city, and anyone who is in the Great Zhou territory can participate. Of course, this is just a statement on the surface. In fact, if you don't have a certain background, just being a rogue cultivators, no one cares at all. After all, the Dezhou royal family is not for charity. The Yuan Wang secret realm in their hands cannot be open to everyone, and now it is open to other sects, and they just want to see if there are outstanding talents in these sects. But even so, countless people still rushed over. These people's ideas are very simple. Even if they can't participate, it's good to watch the excitement. Hoo dash. Outside the town of Tiantian, a dragon roar came, resounded through the heavens and the earth. 13. At the far end of the sky, a flood dragon, like a mountain ridge, covered the sky and the earth, casting a large shadow in the void, and it was not close to Zhangtian City. It made many people feel a heavy pressure, making people almost breathless. On the dragon head, the 2 Daoists stood side by side. One is an old man with gray hair, but his spirit is vigorous and his eyes are as sharp as falcons. Beside him, it is a young man, wearing armor, heroic and majestic. His eyes are as sharp as sword-ons. Hey, this flood dragon, I'm afraid it's not going to return to the ancestors. His dragon power is simply too terrifying. I guess at least he has to live and die. With the life and death realm flood dragon as a mount, I am afraid that only the royal beast sect can have such a big deal. It's the people from the Beast Master sect. Haven't you seen the 2 people standing on the dragon's head? One is Elder Su of the Beast Master sect, and the other is probably Ningcheng, the first genius of the Beast Master sect. Ningcheng? Is that the genius who only contracted the early-stage cultivation base of the profound core realm and was carrying demonic beasts of the ancient Pur bloodline? It's him, his fierce beast. It is said that he has been cultivated to the middle stage of the profound core realm, and his strength is terrifying. Even a powerhouse at the peak of the profound core realm can't help him. If nothing else happens, this person may win the top spot in the primordial phoenix secret realm. 95. The appearance of the Imperial Beast sect made the entire Jintian city boil. Especially that Tianjiao named Ningcheng was praised by countless people. After all, the Beast Master sect was different from other sects, and their own combat power was nothing. The main thing is to rely on the spirit beast of one's own contract. And the spirit beast contracted by Ningcheng, possessing the bloodline of ancient beasts, plus his own strength is not weak. Many people think that he is the favorite to win the Yuan Wang secret realm this time. Although the Dezhou royal family has not yet clearly stated what rewards will be given to the Yuan Wang secret realm winning this time, but guessing with your toes should not be too bad. Just when countless people were talking about the Imperial Beast sect, surrounding air, it suddenly fell, and the originally hot weather started to snow. This kind of unreasonable phenomenon made many people stunned at first, then quickly responded. They looked up. Really? On the sky, a spirit treasure like the snow lotus of the Tian Shan Mountains passed through the sky. There were dozens of girls standing on it, all of them graceful, like celestial immortals. Misty Palace. 55. Misty Palace is really as rumored. There are all female disciples in the sect. Did you see that? The girl at the front? I really feel pity for it. 5. Unfortunately, Misty Palace is too mysterious. No one knows who they are leading the team this time, let alone what a brilliant record. Is there a possibility that they are not because of the mysterious, but because there is really no disciple who can do it? This possibility is too low. Misty Palace is a force that has been passed down for thousands of years. Since they dare to come this time, they must have some confidence. After the Imperial Beast sect and Misty Palace appeared, the rest of the sects appeared one after another as if they had made an appointment. Every sect that appeared in Tian City attracted a burst of amazement. After a full hour, boom, 95. There was a burst of sound. The end of the sky. A round of scorching sun rose slowly, bursting out 10,000 divine light. At this moment, even the sun in the sky was eclipsed by it, and many people had to cover their eyes. Certainly. Some people exercised their eyesight and looked towards the sky. I see. Above that round of scorching sun stood a lilac figure, with a tall figure, a face like a crown of jade, two sword eyebrows flying diagonally into his temples, and his robes fluttering, as if a banished immortal had descended into the world. This is the enchanting genius of Xianyang sect? What monstrous genius? Why haven't I heard of it? 35. Brother Tai, you are too ignorant. Some time ago, Xianyang sect produced a genius. After only 2 years of cultivation, he has already stepped into the middle stage of Xiandan realm. 417-inch. Furthermore, this person killed 3 extraterritorial demons in person almost 2 months ago. Do you know what the extraterritorial demons are? That is a creature from another world. It is hard to kill and hard to destroy. But this person killed 3 heads in a row. The terrifying combat power is unimaginable. If it is said that in this Yuan Wang secret realm, Ningqing has the strongest comprehensive strength, then the most amazing talent is definitely Li Sun of Xianyang sect. Given time, the whole big week may not be able to trap such a real dragon. 35. Hey, you say that. This Li Sun is really terrifying. On the flying spirit treasure of Xianyang sect, Li Sun listened to the discussion below, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Before crossing, when he was reading novels, he sometimes wondered why people who eat melons know so much. But now he understands. Feelings, as early as half a month ago, Xian Yangzong had already spread some of his deeds to Zhentian City. In Xia Elder's words, this is called building momentum. But in Li Sun's view, this is more like advertising. If you are yourself, in the Yuan Wang secret realm, you will come out on top. That's Xianyang sect. Just use this to promote a wave. Maybe in the coming year, when we open the mountain and accept apprentices, we can still recruit a lot of good seedlings. Enter Zhentianqing. The Great Zhou dynasty had already arranged accommodation for each sect. After finding your own place to live, Xia Elder let the other disciples go away, leaving Li Sun alone. Elder, do you have any other orders? Li Sun asked curiously. There are indeed some things that I need to warn you about. 55. Xia Elder looked very solemn, and his spiritual sense spread out, covering a radius of several hundred meters, blocking outsiders' investigation, and then said, Nephew Li, after a while, someone should invite you to come over. You can agree at that time, but after passing, you need to abide by your own position. Don't show your own attitude easily. Oh. Li Sun raised his eyebrows and quickly understood the meaning of Xia Elder's words. In the mundane world, there is still competition for power and profit, and in the fantasy world, there are naturally, and the competition is more fierce, because the stronger the strength and the higher the status, the more resources you have. With more resources, you can make yourself 100 feet and go further. If nothing else, Xia Elder invited his own person, and he should be a member of the great Zhou royal family. After all, he is now well known. A young genius definitely has the qualifications to be attracted. Among the great Zhou dynasty, the eldest prince and the third princess are the most competitive, and only these two have the qualifications to become the God Emperor. 99. The two of them, each of which is not easy to get along with. Nephew, you must be careful. Xia Elder asked again, a little uneasy. Junior understands. Li Sun nodded and said. On his side, the voice just fell. not far away. Then a servant in a blue shirt strode over. Seeing the visitor, Li Sun and Xia Elder glanced at each other, and both of them secretly said in their hearts at the same time, "Come. Young Master Li Sun, my master has a request." The servant came to Li Sun, cupped his hands slightly, and said, "Lead the way." With Elder Xia's previous instructions, Li Sun nodded and said without any hesitation. As for who he was talking about, the other party didn't say, and Li Sun didn't bother to ask. Under the leadership of this servant. Arriving outside the residence, a jade chariot was already prepared here. Li Sun sat on it, and after about 3/4 of an hour, he stopped in front of a tall and majestic mansion. Li Sun stepped down from Yuzhao and glanced at the mansion in front of him. It was not difficult for him to see that in this mansion, there were countless symbols shining in the air. That is a formation. The power is extremely terrifying. Once activated, I am afraid it is enough to kill the powerhouse in the realm of life and death. Li Sun narrowed his eyes. The place where he lived could have such a strong formation shelter. It is estimated that the owner of this mansion was probably not low-ranking. Even if it wasn't the eldest prince mentioned by Elder Xia, it was probably the third princess. "Master Li, please come with me." The man in blue walked up to Li Sun, said something respectfully, and then led the way. Li Sun raised his heels behind him. After walking through several corridors, a vast lake appeared in front of the two of them. In the center of the lake, in a palace tower that was several tens of meters high, there were faint sounds of chatting and laughter. "My lord, it's inside. The young man has a low status and can't lead Li Gongzi over there, so he asked Tai Han." The man in blue bowed his cupped hands apologetically, then turned and left. Li Sun glanced at the person's back and then looked at the palace tower in the center of the lake. His eyes narrowed slightly, and he was about to take a step when a system voice suddenly sounded in his mind. "Ding, congratulations to the master. I found a purple investor. Invest in a Dao enlightenment pill and get a Mingxin Bodhi's son. High-grade Dao soldier." Li Sun's expression changed. The system that had been silent for nearly a month suddenly rang. This sound, but also a direct surprise to myself. Purple investment. Since getting the system, he seems to have seen only 2 purple investments in total, once Jiang Taixian and once Qin Shui, except for these 2 people. He has never seen any purple investments. Unexpectedly, I met here for the 3rd time today. And coming up is a high-grade Taoist soldier. The Taoist soldier is a high-grade weapon that is a whole higher than the Lingao. If he remembers correctly, in the entire Xianyang sect, it seems that a treasure of the sect is a high-grade Taoist soldier. Fortunately, I didn't eat the enlightenment pill before, otherwise, today's purple investment might not be available. Li Sun was a little surprised. This wise Bodhi, he doesn't know what it does, but one thing is certain, that is, with the word Daobing hanging on the back, it must be of great value. Even if the enlightenment pill is precious, it can't be exchanged for a Taoist soldier. Thought here. He looked at the palace. Not far away. If nothing else, the own purple investor is probably in the palace. At this time. In the palace. Immortal mist is lingering, clouds steaming, and it is like a fairyland on earth. Among them, more than a dozen figures were present, chatting happily with each other. Behind a jade table, there was a burly figure in armor. He picked up the jade cup, took a sip, and said with a light smile, "Hasn't Li Sun fellow Daoist of Swannyangzong arrived yet?" 99. His Royal Highness, the First Prince, has already sent someone to invite him. If nothing else happens, fellow Li Sun Daoist should be here soon. Someone said softly. 66. This Li Sun fellow Daoist, I heard that after only 2 years of cultivation, he has reached the realm of the middle stage of the Xiandan realm. I don't know if the rumors are true. Could it be the genius of Xianyang sect who was fed by medicine pill? A young figure spoke lightly. His whole body was filled with divine light, and there was some sourness in his words. Although his grade is not more than 25 years old, he has been cultivating for more than 10 years. When he was a child, he joined the Xianin religion, but it has not been until now that he can cultivate to the early stage of Xiandan realm. On weekdays, he often considers himself a genius. But Now Li Sun's appearance has completely shattered his pride. After cultivating himself for more than 10 years, he was in the early stage of the Xiandan realm, and he was in the middle stage of the Xiandan realm after cultivating for 2 years. In this comparison, his aptitude is a bit unsightly. The rumors don't stop there, that Li Sun fellow Daoist, but more than a month ago, he also killed 3 extraterritorial demons. You must know that the extraterritorial demons have not appeared in the cultivation world for hundreds of millions of years. As soon as he appeared, he landed in the Xianyang sect area and was killed by Li Sun fellow Daoist. When Li Sun fellow Daoist arrives, you can ask him, what is the origin of the extraterritorial, or Zhao, demons, what's it like? The figure in armor is meaningful. Among the dozen people present, a large part of the people didn't believe that Li Sun had killed an extraterritorial demon at all. After all, that extraterritorial creature had not appeared for a long time. Many people think that it is just a legend. Outside the world, there is no such creature, no one can be sure. Maybe it is Xianyang's own, deliberately gilding its own disciples? After all, this kind of thing is very common, and almost every sect is building momentum for his own outstanding disciples, but your Xianyang sect is too exaggerated. Now we have pulled out the demons from outside the realm to build momentum for our own disciples. What about after that? In my opinion, that Li Sun has a false name. The young man of Xining sect shook his head and said lightly. But at the moment when his voice fell, inside the palace, suddenly a purple figure appeared. If I have a false name, what are you? A purple figure suddenly appeared. Let the whole great hall be silent. First, a burly man wearing a pale gold robe, with a sturdy figure and divine light flowing from his body. His eyes twitched, 2 divine lights shot out, and he gave Li Sun a deep look. Although he didn't say a word, he had a kind of power that was not angry and mighty, which made people look daunting. Beside him, she is a woman in a white palace dress. She is quite beautiful, her body is slender and light, almost as translucent as jade. Her body is covered with colorful rays of light, and her hair is smooth and supple, like a goddess. At this moment, the corners of her mouth twitched, and she looked at Li Sun up and down with a faint smile. Same. Li Sun also looked at her. After entering the entire great hall, he had already swept over everyone. Only this woman was covered with a rich purple brilliance. It seems that this purple investor status is not low. Li Sun thought to himself. The entire great hall. Only the 2 of them sat high. One is the man in the golden robe, and the other is the woman in the white palace dress. If nothing else, the 2 of them should be the first prince and the 3rd princess. 417-inch Li Sun. At this time, a broken drink came. The young man of the Xining sect, his face was frosty, his eyes were cold, and he said solemnly, "What do you mean by what you just said?" Today's banquet was hosted by the eldest prince and the 3rd princess. Everyone who was present represented not only themselves, but also the sect behind them. If it were Li Sun's words today, it would be spread out. Then how do you meet people? Literal meaning. Li Sun glanced at the other party and said calmly. He heard all the conversations between Ningqing and the young Xining sect just now, since they had already arranged themselves behind their backs. Then you don't need to leave face for the other party. BR 35. The young man of the Xining sect suddenly got up, and a fierce aura emanated, as if a wild and ancient beast was born, wanting to choose someone to devour. Just before he was about to start, a faint voice came down from above. Enough. The woman in the palace dress, her red lips parted lightly, 2 words spit out from her mouth and continued. Do you guys want to do something here? BDDF, Zheng Chuan dare not. Xining taught young people, cupped hands quickly said. Seeing Zheng Chuan speak, there was a hint of disappointment in the eyes of many people. Except for the top 2, the others were all their own opponents. Even if it doesn't match up today, but in the Yuanwang secret realm, I have to do it once. If I can see it today, the strength of the 2 leaders of the Xianyang sect and the Xianin sect will undoubtedly be of great benefit to me and others. It's a pity that the 2 were about to fight, but at the last moment, they were stopped by the 3rd princess. Zhuanyang's Li Sun, I have met His Royal Highness the First Prince, His Royal Highness the Third Princess, and all fellow Daoists. Li Sun cupped his hands slightly and said in a clear voice. When the others saw this, they all cupped their hands and bowed. No matter what happened in the dark on the surface, at least it was okay. Even Zheng Chuan returned the bow with an ugly face. The high disciple of the Xianyang sect has a well-deserved reputation. When I saw it today, it really lives up to its name. Please take a seat. 35. The golden-robed man at the top opened his mouth slowly. His voice was very thick, with the power of someone who had been in high position for a long time. Thank you, His Royal Highness. Li Sun nodded. Then find a spot to sit down. After he was seated, on his left, a man in Tsing-yi looked at Li Sun, raised the wine glass in his hand, and showed a slight smile. The Yuan Wang's secret realm was opened, and there were more than a dozen sects present. Since there are sects that cannot be dealt with by the Xianyang sect. Naturally, there are also sects who are friends with Zhuanyang's. The man in Tsing-yi next to him was obviously from a sect who had a good relationship with the Xianyang sect. The other party was wearing a green robe with 3 sword patterns embroidered on the cuffs. Li Sun glanced at it and immediately understood that the other party was a disciple from Spirit Sword Valley. Seeing the other party's goodwill, Li Sun also raised his glass and returned a smile. Brotherly, Xianyang sect Zheng Chuan is a narrow-minded person. Yazi will report it. You have made a relationship with him today, and you must be careful when you arrive at the Yuan Wang's secret realm in the future. After the man in Tsing-yi took a sip of spirit wine, he said through voice transmission. Pause. The man in Tsing-yi continued. Ning Cheng of the beast fighting sect also seems to have some prejudices against Brotherly, so he must be guarded. Thank you, fellow Daoist, for the reminder. Li Sun responded. In the following time, the whole banquet, after the episode just now, entered a harmonious atmosphere again. Li Sun had a good conversation with the man in Tsing-yi next to him. By the way, I learned the name of the other party. Yao Feng. Gong chips are staggered. An hour passed slowly, and the banquet came to an end. The eldest prince at the top had deep eyes and a dull expression. After taking a sip of wine, a jade pendant appeared in his palm, and his eyes turned to Li Sun, who was talking to Yao Feng. He was about to speak. Sudden. There was chaos outside, and 2 figures rushed over quickly. The eldest prince frowned involuntarily. He glanced at the people who were rushing in quickly, then glanced at Li Sun and Ning Cheng in the banquet, flipped his palm, and took back the jade pendant in his hand. At the same time, there was an interesting look in his eyes. The moment he put away the jade pendant, 2 Daoist figures, almost at the same time, entered the Great Hall, a disciple dressed in the costume of the beast sect. After seeing Ning Cheng, he wailed and said, Senior brother, you must uphold justice for us. As soon as he said this, the attraction of the entire Great Hall was immediately drawn to the past. Even Li Sun looked at Ning Cheng, but in the next second, he realized that another person who came in at the same time as the disciple of the Fighting Beast sect was wearing the clothes of the Xianyang sect. He seemed to have thought of something, and his expression suddenly became strange. The Xianyang sect disciple glanced at the banquet. After seeing Li Sun, there was a flash of excitement in his eyes, but instead of shouting, he quickly walked to Li Sun. After the cupped hands saluted, he used divine sense voice transmission to tell Li Sun the purpose of this trip. It turns out that, I know, you go back first, I have everything here. Li Sun nodded and said, Thank you, brother Li Sun. Hearing Li Sun's response, the Xianyang sect disciple finally let go of his dangling heart. After he bowed and saluted, he quickly turned around and left. What happened? Ning Cheng put down the wine cup in his hand, glanced at the Xianyang sect disciple who was leaving, and said with some displeasure in his heart, Senior brother Qi, just a quarter of an hour ago, several of our junior brothers from the Beast Master sect were injured by a man named Yi Han from the Xianyang sect. The disciple of the Royal Beast sect said with a look of grief and indignation. One wave does not settle and another wave rises. 99. Inside the hall, someone said with a chuckle, Looks like a good show. Before The conflict between Zheng Chuan and Li Sun is mainly at fault for Zheng Chuan. After all, it was he who was behind Li Sun, who was open-mouthed and made fun of others at will. If Zheng Chuan really made his move an hour ago, even if Li Sun crippled him or abolished him, Xianyin's sect would have nothing to say. But now it's different. This time, the Xianyang sect became the unreasonable party. A disciple of the Xianyang sect shot and injured several disciples of the Royal Beast sect, and the fun would be great. Everyone knows that the strongest point of the Beast Master sect is the Beast Master. Right now, everyone is in Tian City, and the disciples of the Beast Master sect will definitely not be able to use demonic beasts. As such, their combat power is equivalent to being weakened by more than half. Your Xianyang sect, even if you defeated other people's disciples, it would be taking advantage of others' danger. Is Wanyangzong's style so domineering? Ningcheng said slowly. Although his voice was calm, everyone could hear the anger in his heart. Following the words, Ningcheng's eyes fell on Li Sun, saying, I don't know, fellow Daoist Li, what's your opinion on this matter? This is to invite a teacher to ask for guilt. Many people realized it instantly. This moment. Rao was the eldest prince and the third princess and did not speak immediately. After all, Li Sun and Ningcheng did not show any signs of making a move right now, so if they spoke rashly, they seemed to favor Li Sun too much. What the Imperial Beast sect did today is indeed a bit too much. 39. Li Sun didn't take it seriously, he said sternly. As soon as he said this, many people did not respond for a while. What's the situation? Right now, shouldn't it be the Imperial Beast sect who is asking for guilt? Why did Li Sun open his mouth? But it seemed that Xianyang sect had become a victim, and Yu Beast sect had become a deliberate provocateur. Is fellow Daoist Li joking? Ningcheng's eyes were bright, and his tone was extremely cold. It was obviously his own junior and junior brother who was injured, but when Li Sun said it, he planned to turn black and white. I never joke. Li Sun shook his head, looked at the disciple of the Beast sect who just came in, and said lightly, You just said that Yi Han injured a few disciples of the Beast sect, but why didn't you say, why did Yi Han suffer? Do it? The disciple was at a loss for words. He secretly glanced at Ningcheng next to him, and suddenly a burst of courage rose up in his heart, and said solemnly, The cause of the incident is that my senior brother from the beast fighting sect first took a fancy to a black stone. The senior brother planned to buy it, but Yi Han, relying on the strength of the cultivation base, not only injured several senior brothers, but also forcibly bought it. Got that stone? Is it? Li Sun chuckled and said indifferently, Why is what I heard completely contrary to what you said? It is clearly a disciple of your beast fighting sect, planning to snatch the stone from Yi Han's hand. Also, you just said that Yi Han relies on the strength of cultivation base. I'm afraid you forgot. Yi Han's cultivation base is only at the late stage of vitality. 99. If I remember correctly, the people who were injured in your Beast Master sect should be the strength of the spirit realm, right? Hear what Li Sun has to say. Inside the Great Hall, many people can't hold back. The disciples of the Imperial Beast sect, although most of their combat power is on the demonic beasts, but their own strength is not too weak, and now a few people have joined forces, and they have surpassed each other by a big realm. And the result is still that they have not fought a vitality realm. A disciple of late stage. If this is spread out, I am afraid that the Imperial Beast sect will be completely reduced to a laughingstock. Same. They also gave Li Sun a deep look. The current Li Sun's talent is already very terrifying, but Xianyangzong seems to have a young genius who is growing up. Once both of them have grown up, the future strength of Xianyang sect is really a bit scary. No matter what the process is, it is an indisputable fact that the people who are injured now are several junior brothers of my Beast Master sect. Ningcheng was unmoved. He looked at Li Sun and said slowly, Let Yi Han be handed over to my Beast sect. I can treat it as what happened today. It never happened. Talking. His whole body was filled with terrifying qi and blood, which was as vast as Wangyang. This Ningcheng is worthy of being the first genius of the Beast Master sect. Even if he didn't summon his demonic beasts, once he got angry, his own strength alone would make people look at him. With the help of demonic beasts, Many people present thought to themselves that they would not be Ning Cheng's opponent. Li Xin, let's meet someone. Do you think you can shelter that person named Yihan? Seeking flowers. At this time, Zheng Chuan also agreed, with a sneer on the corner of his mouth, looking like he was watching a good show. He asked himself he might not be Li Xun's opponent, but now the situation is different. With Ning Cheng rushing ahead, he doesn't mind falling into the trap at this moment. Let's see how Li Sun ends today. First, the two noble figures also watched the scene with interest. The third princess frowned slightly. She wanted to speak again to stop her, but she was blocked by an inexplicable force. Her eyes narrowed, and she looked to the side, the golden-robed figure holding a cup of tea and focused on sipping tea, and snorted coldly in her mouth. This mansion is her place. If the two arrogances really take action, it will have no effect on the eldest prince, but for her third princess, it will be different. She can't even control this little scene. What qualifications does she have to compete for the throne of the great Zhou divine sovereign? I haven't found out the truth of the matter, so fellow Daoist Ning asked brotherly to make friends. Is it too arbitrary? Yao Feng from Lingjian Valley spoke slowly. Lingjian Valley and Xianyang sect have always been on good terms. Many people are not surprised that he speaks for Li Sun on this occasion. Available in the next second. Ning Cheng glanced at Yao Feng and said indifferently, the disciple of the Imperial Beast sect has been injured. This is the truth. As soon as this word comes out, Rao is that Yao Feng has a good temper and his complexion can't help changing. This Ning Cheng was too domineering. If the Xianyang sect really made friends, I am afraid that the disciple named Yihan once fell into the hands of the Imperial Beast sect. It is estimated that the end will be very miserable. It is a blessing to be able to save a small life. A chuckle came. Anyone in the hall would look at Li Sun. Feeling everyone's gaze, Li Sun didn't take it seriously. He was still calm, and he said lightly, Li also has a message for you. 99. Hand over those people from the Imperial Beast sect. I can let go of the past. As soon as this word comes out, many people in the hall were dumbfounded. They thought that Li Sun would make a round and lose, and that was the end of the matter. Unexpectedly, Li Sun actually held on to it tightly. Not only did he show no signs of resigning, but he opened his mouth to ask someone from the Beast Master sect, which was beyond everyone's expectations.